Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day locking in some profits, trading smart. How about PGHL? We weren't really looking at it, but that thing went insane, like over 900%. We will take a look at it, but we did have some that were popping. We'll go through everything, see what's going to be setting up for tomorrow and the rest. Well, Friday, it'll be Halloween, Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then Friday's Black Friday. I think the market actually closes early. I meant to look and I'll have to check that out. And so yeah, that's Black Friday. And then again, next week we're gonna be kicking off and getting crazy as we start December. So let's get cruising. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And here we go. Let's just start off with that PGHL because that thing was insane today. It ran from $20 and it went like over 100 and something. So I'm gonna pull it up on mine because it went nutty. 11:30. I was gonna say it went way up in the after hours. 11:35 to $210 today. And it was a crazy one. It was a Hong Kong engineering and construction company. I don't know what the heck they did, but it just went completely ballistic today. So you're talking a huge, huge runner. And it's a fairly new one too. It opened up on July 23rd, it looks like. So, yeah, just a wild one. Obviously, be careful tomorrow, but it's all the way back to $13.37. So, I hope people are locking in those profits on the way up because that was wild. But it actually looks good for a momentum play tomorrow. So, keep an eye on this bad boy because clearly, yeah, it can run up pretty wild. You don't see them run from $11 to 210 in one day like that. So, it was crazy. PGHL. So keep an eye on that bad boy tomorrow, and we will take a look at it in the morning and see if it is bouncing up again. It's pretty low considering what it ran up to today. And it opened at 11:35 and it's at 13:37 and went up to $210. It was like the what was it? TN whatever, whichever one ran from like $4 to $125 that day. I can't even think of I usually can remember that stock ticker and I just can't think of it. Laptop Travel would definitely know. But anyway, that one, TNON, there you go. TNON. That 10 in medical did the exact same thing back on September 13th. It went from 4 to 125. This one went from 11 to 210. I mean, this one blew that one out the water. So, what a crazy one that is right there. And you do see them pop like that. We just weren't looking at it. Again. It doesn't even look, I don't even know what the heck happened there. So, we will cruise through and see it again tomorrow and see what's happening. Let's just take a real quick look at ELAB. It is reverse splitting today or tomorrow, I guess at midnight, actually, in a couple hours, it's supposed to. And it did pull back. So we're obviously going to look at that after the reverse split because they have been liking to run after the reverse split. And that's ELAB SVMH. Not looking bad, guys. And I'm telling you, it's right there. This thing's going to get cruising, whether it's tomorrow or Friday. I'm not exactly sure, but it's getting in that spot where it wants to get cruising. I would take a look at this bad boy tomorrow because it is looking really good right there. So SVMH, I think you want to keep an eye on. TRNR, that one did pull back today, but honestly didn't look terrible. We'll keep an eye on it just for like the rest of the week because it's sitting right at that bottom and it does not look bad. It almost looks like it's going to have a little dip and rip situation on that TRNR. And this one ran way up the other day. And again, just not looking bad right there. So we'll have to keep an eye on it and see if it wants to run up. Remember, it ran up to 654 on the 21st, which was Thursday, last Thursday. And it's just been kind of flat down here, but not terrible. So it did pull back, but we'll keep an eye on it, and it could do that little dip and rip situation. So we will watch it, TRNR. And let's look at Sunrun. That is RUN. It's been running up. It ran what 1127 to 1153 and back down to 1087, but it's at 1151 or so right now. Let me see. Yeah, pretty much right there, 1149 on mine, and still looks good to continue running up. It just has to get over this 20 at 11, say get it to 1185 in that area, and it's going to start bouncing up and running up even more. And that's sun run, and it did run up from that 10 where we were looking at it, and it's going to continue to move up. And how about that SNSE? That one's moving as well. And again, that the guy Stock Authority was talking about this one. I started posting about it. I mean, you can't deny a perfect setup when they're looking good. We all determined the bottom was down at 43 cents right there. And today and yesterday, what ran up to 63 yesterday, 62 today. Just a little pullback. It doesn't even look terrible still. So you can keep your eye on this bad boy for tomorrow. But again, you always want to be locking in those profits on the way up. And then if you see some pullback and you still like it, because the 20 and 50 are still meeting and it's right there on the line, you could see it bounce off tomorrow. So play it accordingly. But again, I like to lock in those profits when it starts popping up there. And then if it pulls back, you can always do your scaling out, but just make sure you take some profits because you never know. It's again, you look at it and say the risk and probability. Don't look at numbers and prices. Look at the risk and probability, and what's the probability it's going higher, and what's the risk I'm going to take that it's going to go there, and it really puts things in perspective a lot easier. And I think options kind of do that for you too with the expiration date. It kind of forces that thought. So there you go at SNSC. But yeah, it doesn't look bad. It just had a little pullback. It is at 54 cents. And like I said, we knew the bottom was down here at 43 the other day, and it started to move up, and it does not look bad. We'll take a look at it in the morning. I'll take a look and see what it wants to do. It just has that pullback, but again, 20 and 50 right there. It could easily bounce right up. So we will take a look at that in the morning. WBA at Walgreens couldn't break through that resistance. I'm telling you, it's not doing well. I was kind of actually hoping it would, to be honest, for its sake, to get up over like that 918 area, and it just wouldn't do it. It came down 33 cents back to 873. And I'll keep an eye on it because it just hit that. It's hitting the line. We'll see if it can gain a little momentum. I mean, I would like to see it try to jump up. It might help the company a little bit if it can get in between this channel of like 915 and in the 1050 area. And maybe it could get some support and try to get a little more bullish for the company's sake right there, Walgreens, because again, it's not looking healthy. And especially if this thing doesn't get through and pulls back, it's definitely not going to be a good look for it. So you're going to have it really coming down to that bottom down here at like the lower eights, and yeah, the whole entire chart's going to reset up even more bearish. So it's not going to be a good look. So we'll see tomorrow what it's going to do, and just been kind of monitoring that one and looking at it, seeing what the heck they're up to. And VKTX, Viking Therapeutics. This was Laptop Travel was loving it, and it's been going up since we found that bottom the other day, and it was up $1.43, and the bottom was the other day at what 47 area. It's at 53, and it's about to curl through. I mean, it's making a crazy hook up there, and it's going to be looking good. So keep your eye on this bad boy because it's about to get cruising, guys. So VKTX, you might want to keep an eye on that one as well. And it is moving, and it's going to continue to move. So that is that Viking Therapeutics and looking good. Buru. That is Nubaru. That was up a little bit today, and it's looking pretty good, guys. I know we were looking at it the other day. Not looking terrible as that 20's coming down. Maybe it doesn't pop up tomorrow, but it isn't looking bad to try to get set up very soon. So we'll keep an eye on it real quick and just like I said, it's right there. I mean, it's sitting right there where I would look at it in the morning. Let's put it that way. I saw it today and it was right there where it wanted to get to. And I would definitely take a look at it because it does look like it wants to pop up tomorrow. NDRA, I believe, was jumped up today, 32 cents. And we were looking at this one and it did pop up. It was curling up there. It is hitting that resistance up there at that 650 area. It's at 595, and that's NDRA. and it still looks pretty healthy, but I'm not so sure it can bust through that. But if it does, it's getting through and going into the sevens. So keep your eye on it in the morning and just see if it keeps that momentum. It wants to. It just kind of market conditions really tomorrow. It had 300,000 in volume, 323,000. So not that crazy, but ran from 558 to 649 today. And it's at 584 or 595 in the after hours. Mine says 577. So they're all over the place, but still doesn't look too bad right there. So that is NDRA. And we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, was running up. We were looking at it, see if it keeps that momentum. How about the yin and the yang? The yin was down like we thought, and that yang is going up just like we were saying. So um, your Yang's getting closer to that 90 as we thought, and it's at 85.60 or 86 in the after hours. It closed at 85.64, and it is looking much better there, just as we were talking about. So that 20 and 50 are going to meet up and smack that thing up. So if you're not in any options yet, I would take a look at it and look at them bottom prices right there because it hits it every day, pretty much at its 83.72 area. And today it came down into the 84.08. And yeah, it's just a matter of time that the Yang is going to take off. You might see a dip and rip on it, but you definitely want to keep an eye on that bad boy because it's getting moving right there. So keep an eye on that Yang. It wants to run. I mean, it's been doing exactly what we were saying it's going to do, and they just been stair stepping it up, stair stepping the yin down, and now you're going to see the yang really move. So there you go with the yin and the yang and the boil and the cold. Let's see them bad boys. The boil's been hot just like we thought, and just had a little pullback yesterday. It wasn't anything crazy, and it looks like it still wants to go up. Let's look at it on mine. And yeah, it looks like it still wants to continue up. It was just kind of pulling back there. It ran up to that 53.70, pulled back here into the 50 area, but that 20's hooked up and trying to go, and it's more bullish than bearish at the moment. Let's look at KOLD, good old cold, and this thing's hitting some support down here. And it might come right through, like we were saying yesterday. It doesn't look like it wants to hold it up. Let's put it that way, trying to build a base, but I'm not so sure. And it could easily come through and go down. So the cold could easily go through and continue to go down, and boil could really move up. So they could completely change courses and as they have been, but like really start shifting. So they are the natural gas ETFs. So keep an eye on that as boil's heating up, and we said it was, and it's been moving. TWG, this one I'm telling you is going to be a wild one. It's crossed through and it's just bouncing around right here. I don't know what it's exactly waiting for. The 20's not too far off. It's at like 36. We're at 31 right here, and I'm not so sure it's even waiting for that. So just keep an eye on this bad boy because it gets over that 36 cent area. It looks like it's going to start popping up. It ran up to 33 where it's closed at 31, but its high was 33 where it opened, and not looking bad again. So just keep your eye on this TWG, this top wealth group, because this one could get moving at any time. Another Hong Kong company. You saw what that other one did, PGHL. That one, what was that company? Was that a wasn't that Hong Kong? Yeah, Hong Kong Engineering and Construction. I'm telling you, some of these can fly. These Asian companies, they get wild. And when you see them run from like 11 to 200, it gets a little bit crazy there. So it's just a matter if you can push the sell button at some point and lock in those profits before it comes crashing back down on you is basically what happens. But yeah, that's what you have to do. But they do get wild and run pretty crazy, and you've definitely gotten a taste of that. So that's TWG, and keep your eye on it. TURG, that True Golf Holding, starting to tee off right there, just as we thought. And we knew where that bottom was down there. It had dipped down to that 35. We were looking at it more at the 38. And yeah, it just teed off today and got cruising up there. So That is TRUG, and it ran 47 to 59. It's sitting at 53 cents. And that one was a one that was just set up to get moving there. We went over it, and yeah, it might not get flying 100%, but it's definitely moving over 20% today, and only had a half a million, 587,000 in volume. So a little over a half a million in volume. And yeah, it ran up pretty well, and it's just set up nice. So TRUG, and it could continue to go up there and hit that 64 area before it really hits any resistance. So check it out there. TRUG not looking bad, and we were definitely early for that. WTO, I'm telling you, this thing is just bouncing around, just riding this line down here. We know that dip the other day with 31 cents was its bottom. I mean, it had to have been. There's no way it wasn't. And yeah, WTO, it's just sitting right there. We're just waiting for it. So we'll see what that's up to. And EJH was running yesterday like we thought. It did pull back a little bit today, but it popped up perfectly yesterday for us. And honestly, it doesn't look bad right there. Let me see. Yeah, I would look at this bad boy tomorrow and see. I think it wants to run up again and really get cruising here. So keep an eye on this EJH. It is still looking good right there. So I would definitely keep an eye on that bad boy in the morning. It could definitely run up right there. I mean, it tested the waters the other day when it got up to what, that 81 cent area, and it wants to get up there. I'm telling you, it looks like it wants to, and it could easily do it. So EJH, another one of them China companies that could get rolling. Let me just pull out the chart. Yeah, and it has a bunch of room. I mean, it has some resistance right here at 92, but if it gets moving, it's going through that 92, and your next stop is in like the $2 range. So it has a lot of room to go. I can tell you that. And it could easily do it. You can see what these things can do. So keep your eye on EJH as well. And XPON, let's look at that guy. XPON, let's see, down 10 cents today. This one was running up. It actually dipped down a little bit yesterday to 217. That was its bottom. Today's low is 226, and 217 was its bottom. This bad boy is going to roll off. I mean, at least it looks like it at the moment. So I'll keep an eye on it tomorrow. It's right there, and I don't see why it wouldn't roll off. So I doubt it wants to get into the basement. Maybe it does, but it doesn't look like it at the moment. So I'll keep an eye on XPON tomorrow. Let me just put a little mark to look at it. And I'll see exactly what that wants to do tomorrow because it's right there. It'll be able to tell us, and I'll be able to see that bad boy. So I'll look at XPON and LCID. This one was running up for us, and it just kind of pulled back a little bit, but not in a bad spot. Still, I think we're going to have that one run up as it was running up, hit that resistance, pull back a little bit healthy, just so it can kind of jump up over where it's at, and it'll jump up over that 220 area and get moving. At least it looks like it should. And that's a normal flow of a chart. To be completely honest with you, and we haven't really seen that in a long time either. So just watch LCID, and some of these I was just watching to see how the chart patterns were doing, and I tell you guys that all the time. Certain things I look at just to see if it's flowing in the right direction and the way it wants to. And they seem to be getting back to normal. And it would be, like I said, it's going to be incredible because you guys seen I posted that one Apple option, and that was nothing. I mean, again, I was just experimenting with these things and messing around, and I was kind of telling you guys I've been doing pretty well with it. And yeah, I just kind of figured out this little system, and I'm definitely going to explain it to you a little bit better and tell you what I'm doing. But yeah, that was like a $1,400 profit in about 10 less than 10 days, I think. And just picking them because we can see the chart so well. And then once you can figure out when you know the expiration dates and figure that part out, and that's what I was figuring out basically this last week. I also bought the ETF, and I have it about a month out in December. I was just curious as to what like the differences were and how to maximize the profits and pick them as best as you could. and I think I zeroed in on it because I mean I started racking up well over 100 and 200% hits every single option that I called and played except for the Apple's earnings. So that one was actually I took a screenshot of that one before 3 o'clock, and then right after 3 o'clock it probably hit right around like 190%. It was probably up as I was selling it because I sold it today. Its expiration was Friday, and I didn't, even if it goes up more tomorrow, I'm fine with it. It'll probably jump up, but it's fine. Still expires Friday, and it's not worth the risk or the probability. It was up way more than you. And what I was going to tell you is you're not putting up that much money. These them options, there was three options there. They were about $200 a piece, so it was about $600 of risk, and it made over $1,400 in less than 10 days. So that's a pretty good return right there. And again, I didn't sweat it, didn't even stress it. It was a piece of cake. It was way easier than any penny stock trade I'd ever made. And didn't even have to put up half the amount of money that you had to put up for stocks and penny stocks and things of that nature to really make good money on them. And so you just figure if that's three options right there, and that was just the Apple option. Like it wasn't the ETF, the APU, which, like I said, I have that one. It's up about $600, and the ETF, but the expirations, I believe, December 20th. So I bought it a little further out, and I just was trying to mess around. And I had no idea. Again, I'm not an expert at this by no means. I'm very new at options and just kind of figuring it out as I go along and just trying to see what was the easiest system I could make, what made the most sense and was the easiest. And like I kept telling you guys, I'm just trying to figure out how to maximize these profits on the best trades. And you can tell what I was trying to do here. I was literally experimenting and making good money while I was doing it, trading very little money. And I know I was been talking about it the last month because I know I piqued a lot of your interest. And and again, I'm going to explain it all. I just wanted to get comfortable with doing it and make sure that I was even on to something because I don't think anyone's trading options this way. And again, talking to a bunch of different people, I think the fact that we can zero in on these stock charts so accurately, and you guys can see what we're doing here. And if you get that expiration date in the right range, holy cow, it's insane. And I think I said it last night, and I was talking to some people today, and I was saying, look, I think if you're right around 3 days out, you're perfect. Obviously, if it's still running up, and if you're confident that in your 2 days out, say it's Wednesday, and you know it's popping Thursday, and your expiration's Friday, by all means keep it and sell it Friday. But I don't think you should be selling it on the expiration day. At least in my opinion, I waited for the Yang. The only other one that I had really not done great on was a one Yang option, and I did well on the other ones. I decided to wait for the expiration date just to see what was going to happen because I was up on it, and it actually pulled back a little bit, and it was like you might have thought like a bomb went off the day that I was like, well, you don't want to wait for that day. So not a big deal. It didn't cost much, didn't care. And again, was just experimenting. I had no idea. So I learned what not to do real quick. And it was a perfect, easy learning lesson and didn't cost much. So yeah. And like I said, the Apple earnings was the most I had lost on any of them, and it wasn't a big deal again. And I know, and like I said, I can't tell what the hell these earnings are doing. So we're fine. We're fine knowing that we're not going to play them either, and know that we can hit every single one of them, other than the earnings, which we're not even going to mess with. So not a big deal there. And yeah, you just have to pick one or two that you're pretty damn confident with. And again, that was three options. Just imagine if you had 10 on the ETF, that's about a $10,000 hit in 10 days. So if you do, I kind of did the math right there. It would double it, and it would have obviously been more than doubled what that was. It would have been right around $10,000 in 10 days if it was the ETF and ten options. And again, That would have been like what, 2 grand? Not much money to make a $10,000 return in 10 days. So again, if you're doing trading penny stocks, you're putting up 2 grand just to make something decent on these on them because you got to buy so many to really make something. And again, I did it for a long time, so I totally understand it. And I'm way more confident in seeing this, even with an expiration date, because penny stocks can reverse split and you're basically out anyway. So I'm way more confident seeing these big caps and these and the Mag 7 and stuff. Like it's like watching paint dry. Obviously, anything can happen. The market can turn, but I usually pick it out like a week, like a week further as an insurance policy. I look at, and again, if you can get right in that 5 day period right there, you can see it makes money. And if you're right in a 3 day period, they were up about 800 yesterday and it went up to about 1400 today. It's that as it gets closer to that expiration, it really starts cruising up when you're moving and the price is going up, obviously. So you're really seeing the returns. It's not like a stock where it's just going up a, small amount. It's pretty impressive, honestly. I've been watching these things for a month and it's kind of blown my mind. So I just kind of posted that one to give you a little idea. It was just three options. And like I said, I wanted to talk about it. That's why I posted it. And yeah, about a $600 upfront investment. And it was about 2 weeks out. I bought it knowing that Apple was going to move, and it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. And boom, I didn't know what it was going to return. Again, I was experimenting, and I also bought the ETF for another month out, and I can cash that one in if I feel like it's going to be pulling back. Not a big deal. I was just experimenting, and that's up over $500. So again, just beautiful plays right there. And I'm telling you, we're going to start nailing them down just like that. I was just trying to figure it out, to be honest with you. So I think I got a pretty good system. Obviously, it's never going to work 100%, but I'm comfortable with what I just did this last month. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, just playing around. I was just like, wow, I was looking at the numbers today and it was actually pretty impressive. I was like, damn, this is crazy. So I'm telling you, way better than probably any of the penny stock runs I've had. And I was again just messing around. So there you go. We'll keep on moving on, but I just wanted to explain that. And I know I posted that earlier. And again, some of these smaller ones, yeah, they have the option plays, and we're going to be looking at them. But going forward, we're going to really zero in on what's the most profitable best trade um each day and week, to be honest with you. And you don't really have to do a whole lot of trading if you're confident with them ones. And again, people were pretty busy. If you're trying to do penny stocks, and I've said it a lot of times, you got to have your finger on that sell button. I got a lot of stuff going on. Even though I watch this market probably more than most people, I still don't feel comfortable because they move so fast anymore. And that's why I got drifted towards this area. And I wish I would have done it years ago, to be honest with you. And I understand why so many people had told me you should probably look into options. And now I totally understand where the ETFs and all this stuff. I mean, it all is making way more sense to market now. And I thought I understood it before, but now it really makes sense. So just take my word. I haven't let you guys down, I don't think yet. And I think it's going to get really, really good. And like I said, I'm working on a couple things and make it even better. So here we go. I just wanted to explain that and tell you is what that was all about. But yeah, it was. I'm telling you, these options are pretty wild things and definitely new to me. And I actually was gonna pull up the Yahoo one, but the option chain and go through it. But I'll make a video. Like I said, I feel a lot more comfortable after this past week or two. Really kind of seeing what the expirations were and how they worked. I had no idea. Like I said, I just really had no idea. And now I can tell which ones make way more and where you kind of want to be. Like I said, you don't want to wait for that expiration, which is great too, because it forces you to sell it. Like today, I just locked in those profits and I didn't even worry. Tomorrow's a day before a holiday. You're good to go. I mean, you lock in 1,400 hours like that real quick and you're not really worrying about it. You know what I mean? It's just like a no-brainer. It was a piece of cake. And like I said, you buy more than three, you're cruising there. So here we go. Let's get cruising. But again, we will get way more into it, and I'll explain it way more in detail so people understand at least what I'm doing. I can't speak for what most people do or anybody else because I really have no idea. So you guys know I'm not a financial guy. I can just read these stupid stock charts and tell you that the thing's going to go up and exactly pretty much in the timing. And that's what these options are really about. And that's what we're pretty good at on this show is picking the timing and seeing which ones are going to go up. And if you can do that, you can definitely make good money in options. So here we go. Lucid definitely was just pulling back, healthy pullback, and I got off on a tangent because the actual chart is running smooth like it actually should. It ran up, hit the resistance, and should continue to run up, and it kind of triggered my mind into that. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, God, I even get off on that tangent, but I know that's what I was thinking. So LCID, and let's look at UGL. UGL. This is the ultra gold one and it is just hitting that line. It came through yesterday and made a wicked turn down, and I'm telling you, it's going to make a wicked turn back up. So this thing's going to get cruising again. It just kind of ran up there on what the 22nd, that was last Friday. It kind of hit that resistance and letting it set up, and I think it just built that base as the yeah, this thing, the gold is getting crazy right here, so that UGL is one to definitely keep an eye on. And its bottom, I mean, if it wants to, it could come down into the 91s, but I'm not so sure it wants to. It's been coming down into the 93s and staying in there. So just look for anything under 93 on UGL, and it might look really good. It's definitely setting up. That Rumble ran up today, and then it kind of pulled back. It did get up like 730. Let me look on mine because I thought it was up a little higher. 763 to 780. Came down to 694, and it's at 703. It could be pulling back, but it could just be pulling back to set up. It never got into the top. And I can look at Rumble in the morning, RUM, and see what that wants to do. WINT, and I'm telling you, this thing is trying to set up right here. It's came out of the basement, just went flat, and it's just looking really good. Something's going on with WINT, so just keep an eye on it. If it jumps up right here over into that 60 cent area, and it's at 57 right now, it got up to 58. It's going to look really good, WINT. So just keep your eye on that bad boy because that one's setting up right there. And OCGN, I forget. I looked at it. It was down a penny. Um, Oh yeah, it was just kind of hanging out down there. It's still not getting back to its bottom at 85, so it's just kind of cruising around as it's setting up here, and it is going to run up there. I don't know how high it's going to run or when, but it's definitely setting up. And on mine, it actually looks way better in the after hours. You can just see it made a different look because it didn't look like this earlier. I know that for a fact. 93 to 94, and it's at 94. Yeah, it's up there in the after hours. I can tell by looking at the chart. It looks way better right now. I would keep an eye on OCGN. I knew it was setting up. I could see it today, and it looks really good there. So there you go. Doesn't look as good on the FinViz because it doesn't show that after hour setup like it did. And but yeah, it's looking great. So keep an eye on that OCGN. I could tell it was getting there. And it's there. So DG Dollar General, this was getting set up. It ran up yesterday and just kind of pulling back, nothing crazy. It's crossed through, just a little healthy pullback as they should, as it's going to run up. I mean, this is a normal chart, so yeah, I mean, it did pull back 77 to 74, and it's at 74.70. But again, I don't think it's anything crazy with that. They can pull back and forth like 3, 4, 5 hours and not be a big deal. So, they do have earnings coming up on December 5th, which is next Thursday. So, coming into December when we start out next week, and so they will have earnings. So we can look at it and see if we want to play it right before the earnings. But again, once it hits near Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, which I probably wouldn't even get that, play my options like that. I like to be out a little enough, or unless I knew it was going. Again, I can't ever tell, so I probably won't ever mess with them like that. and that's why I set up my charts and everything. So they definitely tell me when earnings are and reverse splits. I want to know exactly when they are, and for that reason. So I don't want no surprises and be like, oh shit, Finviz didn't tell me that it didn't have it, and they had a earnings and I got screwed. So that's why I added it to my charts. Just so I had a backup and I could definitely tell. And again, I trust them bad boys. So I will trust it. What I even write? SEDG. That's what I wrote. SEDG. What did this do? It was down 8 cents. I thought it was up a little bit. No, maybe I was wrong. 13.94 to 14 and back to like 13.69 right now. It's at 13.75. It was just a little healthy pullback on SEDG. I think this one's going to get moving real soon as well. So keep an eye on this bad boy. It is looking good. It's a solar company in Israel and it is looking really good to set up right there. I think that one looks really, really good actually. That one's going to get set up. So keep an eye on that. And what's Pfizer doing? PFE. This was setting up the other day and had run up. We looked at it because I remember it ran up immediately. So we looked at it on the 21st, it ran up on the 22nd, and then on Monday it ran up. And then today, or yeah, 22nd and then Monday and then today it's just kind of pulling back, but it's crossed through another one, just a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy there. And exactly what they're kind of supposed to do. So that's not bad either. Pfizer, that'll continue its way up. And again, this is a short week, so things are a little off. That's actually kind of normal. If it was like a month or two ago, we wouldn't be seeing these. And I know because we were around the holidays before and they were just all over the place. I mean, you had some popping weeks before, but it was just crazy. So, and the charts were never set up. They would just pop off and just, disintegrate basically. It was over. These things are running up, moving healthy pullback so that they can move up the right way. And it's a beautiful look. It's exciting to see a chart move the right way, especially after what we saw the last few years. And again, with them kind of looks and doing these options and stuff, I'm telling you, we can just slaughter the market. And I've been saying it to you for a couple months that it was going to get really, really good around Christmas. And look what's about to happen, guys. We're about to enter December. And I'm telling you, you just seen what I posted today. And that's just the beginning. And all of these can be doing it with no problem. It's a piece of cake, honestly. It was way easier than you would expect. And I'll just spell it all out. And again, I have some other cool things in the works that'll definitely be helpful too. So we'll get into that as December rolls in. But let's roll on the Tilray brands because this one's setting up, and another one ran up the last 2 days, a little healthy pullback, and this bad boy is setting up really nice too. Tilray. So keep your eye on this. It's going to get crossed through. I don't know if they really they're trying to slow down, it almost looks like, because they have so much momentum and they're trying to run right on this short week. And I don't know, they look like they're trying to slow themselves down to get fired up on a better timing, which I always like. I used to always say I didn't like them to fire off on a Friday because you generally can't keep the momentum and have a 2 day runner. Over the weekend, it's very tough for that to happen. These look like they're trying to slow up so that they don't get messed up with the day off. And that's pretty cool that it looks like that because all of them are starting to look like that. And yeah, it's fine if they don't want to pop off this week necessarily. I mean, some might anyway, but if they just kind of run their course and, run up a little bit and healthy pullback and get set up and all start setting up for December, it's going to be a wild month, guys. It'll be crazy. Everything will be popping. And I'm telling you, it almost setting up to look like that. Obviously, we're getting into there right now, so it does. I mean, we've been saying that things wanted to get bullish and look like that, and they're looking like that. So we'll be walking out all the big caps and stuff in a few minutes. And yeah, but TLRY at Tilray, and I'll have to look at the whole cannabis sector too and see what it looks like. But it's not looking bad. That plug, that's set up too. And just a little healthy pullback. It was 13 cents. But again, a lot of them have that same look today where they were running up yesterday and then they kind of just pull back today. And it's not even that bad. So let me see if I can't get this one on here. What's going on here? What's happening here? There it goes. That's Apple. All right. What was I looking at? Plug. There we go. Here it is. Yeah, it's still sitting there above the 50. Just some healthy pullback right there. I just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing. And this thing's gonna want to get up over that 225. It's at 208 and then get cruising there. So they're all looking pretty good, even with a little healthy pullback. And again, it's not a bad thing, especially on a short week. That QMM just pulling back. And like I said, this thing, it ran up yesterday. If it runs up one day, expect it to be lower than that day for sure because they're generally running up a little bit and pulling back, and they're lower than the day before as they curl up. They still run that pattern and then try to pop up about 3 days out from where they're going to cross over. So this one's still curling up and will run around a lot. And I'm just keeping an eye on it for that right timing that we're going to nail it. DXCM, that Dexcom. That was up 11 cents, and I think Luis Rodriguez brought this one up last night, and it was looking pretty good. It ran 78.65 to 79.38. It's at 77.94 and still not looking bad right here. So it did run up on mine. It had a little pullback there. I'll look at it in the morning, but it doesn't look terrible. And there's a lot of room. This thing was trading in the 111 area. When was that? Back in like July in the summertime, and then just took a huge dip on earnings right here. Let me tell you what day that was. July 25th. And on the 26th, well, let's go back. On the 25th, it opened at $111. Its high was 112. Its low was 107. It had its earnings. The next morning, it opened at $66. Its high was 67. Its low was 62. It had 53 million in volume, and it's never got higher than $77 since then. And right now, it's back to 77. So we're back at the high, and it honestly looks like it's pretty good. DXCM, and it has a lot of room to go. Could easily get back to $100. And yeah, I don't know what again, that earnings look I'm just looking at the thing right here and it didn't look that bad. I mean, had some weird looks going in, a little bit red, but again, I would have never guessed that it was going to dip that hard and I'm just going back and looking at it. So there's no way on that day I would have been like, "Oh yeah, short this thing out of its mind." I would have been like, I don't know, maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down. Chances are it'll probably dip a little bit, but nothing crazy. And it was crazy. So earnings aren't for me for sure, and we already know it, so we're not going to worry about it. But yeah, this one DXCM, I'm telling you, has some potential. And what is it? Devices? I don't even know what the company did, and it's a USA company, but definitely has some potential right there. That chart will catch your eye. And let's look at Sava, another one that was crazy dip yesterday, and it never got that real bounce. It looked like it wanted to, and then obviously this morning when you looked at it go flat, you knew it wasn't bouncing back yet. It still has that look though, where it could, but I don't think it's going to with that flatness. And you're back at 383, and we're just gonna let this bad boy set up because again. It is way down after the Alzheimer's drug flopped yesterday, down 80 something percent. And it was down even more today, 10% more. It opened at 432, and we're in the 380. So we'll find that bottom on this bad boy. And this should be an easy run up to some like at least $5, $10 with no problem. And again, it's setting up pretty bullish still. I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on it and we'll find that bottom if it wants to curl up. That'll be a beautiful on the play because that one and these are the ones that we're going to start looking at that can actually gap up and definitely see if we have options on them, even if it's not an ETF. But when they start gapping up like that, you pick that expiration pretty close and knowing that it's about to pop, obviously, and we kind of have that eye on here. So we'll play these things. I'm telling you, we're going to play them a totally different way and I've been looking at them a totally different way. Obviously, you can tell, and you can tell the results have been worth it. So I did my experimenting, and I'm happy with the results, and I'm definitely gun ho about it, especially the way the market's been looking, and And yeah, then when I did the numbers today, I was like, yeah, there's no question that I could have easily put a little more, bought a few more options at any point in time, knowing I was confident with it, but just experimenting. So you always go small. And again, look what I did. If you can trade smart with $10, you can do it with 100, you can do it with 1,000, you can do it 10,000. But don't be jumping, don't throw money in, thinking that that's going to make you trade smarter because it's not. And again, I know the market, but I don't know options and I'm learning something. So look how I approached it. And I'm just giving you my insight and my experience. And that's how you have to think about these things. You just got to approach things smart. And again, I look at it as an education. It's a learning experience, and you pay for education. And I know I couldn't pay somebody to teach me what I wanted to learn. So if I lost a couple, it wasn't a big deal to me. It wasn't the end of the world. And at the end of the day, like I said, I lost an Apple earnings and one Yang that I was up on, and I just waited for the expiration and it pulled back a little bit and just like disintegrated. It was wild, and I'm glad it did, to be honest with you, because now I know I'm never gonna wait for that, and it made it easier. So, and it was real cheap too. It was probably like 80, $90 if it was even that, 70 maybe. It was no big deal. So, there you go. And just definitely looking at things differently. But you look at this thing and I'm like, wow, this has options. This will be a beauty when it starts curling up because it's at $3 and can easily go 10, 15. And them kind of percentages add up really, really fast. It's not the same as looking at a stock. So there you go with that. And that's something that we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. That CTXR, that reverse split, and we said watch for the bounce today, and boom, it was running up right after the reverse split, curled right up out of the basement. Elab's probably going to do the same damn thing tomorrow. Watch it. But yeah, this opened up at 358 and ran up to 425 with no problem. CTXR, we looked at it last night, reverse split, and kind of knew it, and it's still curling up and looking good. So keep your eye on it because they do run after the reverse splits. So they just attract the investors, and again, they're just all the way at the bottom when they're doing it and ready to run. So they reverse split it, and then they catch a little momentum. They used to never do this, and now they're starting. It's a kind of a new pattern, which I don't mind it at all. You just have to make sure you don't get stuck in the reverse split and you pick it up right after it does. And we know that that's what we look for. So OCTO, this one looked really good yesterday. It was just hitting that resistance. It looked like it wanted to jump up over it, but not today. It got up 183 to 187 and came down to 172, but it's at 180. And another one just looks good, healthy pullback right there. And it should try to cross through tomorrow. I would assume, if not Friday. But yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. And kind of looks like a normal chart to me. So that looks good. HRTX. Yeah, HRTX, Heron Therapeutics. That one's curling up really good. That's a big curl up, one of them big fish hooks. So keep an eye on this HRTX. And yeah, that one's gonna try to curl up. It did run up a little bit today. It looks like 117 to 118. Yesterday it did 107 to 117. And today it's at 110, but still doesn't look bad. So keep your eye on that HRTX right there. And what is that? LODE? I can't even read. Yeah, LODE. LODE. Let's see that Comstock. It did pull back. It was running up yesterday, and it's kind of running in that channel, but it came down, touched that support line down here at 33 cents, 32 and a half. And it's back to 37. That was probably its dip and rip situation, and a lot of them are doing it right now. And yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. It does look like a dip and rip. So watch it try to get back up to that 42 cent area and then pop off of there. And that's LODE. So if it's moving back up tomorrow, you know what to look for. And again, it was down 2 cents and jumped up one in the after hours and doesn't look bad at all. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. I'll watch that tomorrow. LODE. ADBE is Adobe. This was up 657. We were talking about last night going up. And it just had that look, that 20 and 50. When they're meeting up like that right now, they're popping up. So you can assume that they're going to jump up. It had that weird look, but it looked like it wanted to go. Its earnings are coming up, so we wouldn't mess with it after this little pop up. And it should run up some more tomorrow. It was down 90 cents in the after hours. Let me just look. But yeah, that thing should be running up tomorrow. Adobe, and I noticed somebody at least got in it on StockTwits. And but yeah, that one's running up, and we saw that one yesterday. And VERU, let's see, that was up 5 cents. This was another one we were looking at. This should keep its momentum too. It looks pretty good right there. VERU. So watch it get up to that 78. It's at 74 right now, and try to bust through that. So that one's not looking bad either. VERU. SMX. This one had some news or something at the end. So I saw somebody post about it. I'm telling you, it's in a good spot right there. And it does look much better. It looks like something happened. Um, I don't see anything November 12th on here. And again, I don't really look for much news, but yeah, it's trying to set up. They do have earnings coming up December 10th, but that's down the way. And watch for this thing to try to pop up right here. SMX. It just has that look. So keep an eye on that bad boy and just watch for that to get a bounce. It's right in that right spot right there. And how about Target, TGT? It was bouncing up the other day. Yesterday, when we thought, again, another one, just a little healthy pullback, it crossed up and came out, just pulling back. And I'm telling you, Target's going to have a nice run right here. TGT, it looks like it's getting set up. And that bottom was back here at 121, and you're at 126 right now. So watch for any pullback right there, but Target is going to get set up and get moving. That is a hell of a pullback it had on its earnings too on November 20th. It went from 156 or 158 down to about 120 real quick. Again, right there on its earnings. And I couldn't have told you it was going to do that. Didn't have that look to me, so I have no idea what they're doing, as I keep saying, but just keep I look at them all the time trying to tell, and I'm like, I just don't know. It's kind of amazing that I'm just baffled that so many people are interested in earnings and play these earning options and I mean, we look at the charts pretty accurately, and I can't tell. I have no idea what people are doing or looking at unless they're just guessing or they think that these numbers mean something, because clearly they don't mean a damn thing. And because we've watched some of the big companies beat earnings and dip, you see them not beat the earnings and go up. It means it's no rhyme or reason. I don't know. And yeah, I'm baffled by it because so many people are interested in earnings, and I just don't see why. I can't even understand it. So anyway, just a fascination I found recently with earnings and options, because I just don't get it. And but yeah, that's just something I'm fascinated with. But anyway, BENF, let's see, down 5 cents today. This thing was looking good yesterday and still looks really good. So another one, just kind of some healthy pullback, nothing real crazy there. And I would say watch this bad boy tomorrow, because that looks really good. BENF, that looks like it wants to get moving. And that PDN or PDYN, is that what it was? PDYN. And that thing ran up again today. It was at the top. I said, if it wants, it looked like it was topped out, but if they keep running up, their momentum plays. When they open at 424 and they start moving and they get up past $7, it's a momentum play right there, as it's moving from 4 to 5. And it closed at what, 687. So yeah, 434 to 766, and it closed at 687. So it's way up there again. I don't like to play them up here. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of people do like them momentum plays. And again, if you're watching them and you catch them and you know that they're moving, they're quite easy because they're gonna move. And you could play that a simple way especially when it's running up like that. So PDYN definitely ran up there. And we looked at our PGHL in the beginning. That one went crazy today, like over 900%. Foxo, we were looking at that one pull back. We looked at it before it ran up, and or as it was running up, I believe, and then saw it run up some more. And now it was pulling back, and it just tried to run up today, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it's anything that crazy to me. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at that tomorrow to take a look and see. It looked like it was trying to bounce up. It ran from 44 to 74, but I'm not so sure it's ready to keep cruising. It could easily pull back tomorrow. So I'm not saying that one's a definite there. I'd have to look at Foxo, FOXO. And VSEE ran up today, 192 to 354. And we were looking at this yesterday as well. What is it? VSEE is what it is. And it did run up 199 to 354, and it's back to 194 right now. And I don't know if it's really going to run up anymore tomorrow. It's hitting that top, and it's really hard to tell if it wants to go up any higher. So, when they run up like that, you got to lock in those profits. Because you may never see a pop up like that, and that's why you don't chase them either while they're running up. We saw it yesterday, knew it was moving, and you catch it from the beginning, run it up and get out of it and lock in those profits so you don't have to worry about it pulling back on you and making them decisions. So just experience I've had in the past and things that you don't want to do wrong. Like I say, just lock in those profits. If they go up higher, they go up higher. It's not the end of the world. You have profits because I'm telling you, you'll be upset for about a day and maybe not even because you may watch that bad boy come plummeting down that same day past where you just sold it at and under where you bought in and go, holy cow, I'm so glad I sold that at that moment. And it didn't matter if I left 20 cents on the table. And sometimes you just got to look at it that way. And like I tell you from experience, you'll be way more upset that you did not sell it and take your profits and it came down on you and now you're stuck in it for months and it reverse splits and you're beat rather than locking in some profits and being able to go to the next trade with extra money that you had before you got into that trade and then watching it and then watching the price plummet and getting out and be like, well, that was the right call. And it's going to happen almost every time. I'm telling you. So don't try to hit the tops every time. It's virtually impossible, I promise you. As well as we read the charts, it's still even tough for us to do it. And I can't do it. I'm honest about it. We see the bottoms. I can point them out with no problem. But they start moving. You just don't know where they're going to go. And again, the other factor is you just don't know when someone's going to sell a big position and manipulate it some way. And I mean, people are going to lock in their profits. That's why you're doing this. So take that advice and lock in your profits and then you won't be upset if they're pulling back. So there you go with that. S dot, we were looking at this down here right when it split. I remember it came back down into the low twos and it's over $4 right now and looking really good. SDOT. So keep an eye on that one, SDOT, because that looks like it's about to run up. It's at $4 and it looks like it's going to get cruising, guys. So watch that one tomorrow as well. It's looking really nice. This next one, I don't even know where this popped in. I don't even know how I saw this thing. I was just cruising around looking, and HURA, this came up, I popped up and I was like, wow, that's an interesting chart. It was starting to set up, you could tell. And this thing looks like it's going to get rocking and rolling. That bottom was at 293. It's at 349, 337 right here. Let me see what it looks like in the after hours. Oh my goodness, watch this thing tomorrow. It's at 420. Like I was just saying, it looked like it was good. And here you go, another case of Finviz just not showing you. It tells me that it's at 337 in the after hours, and that is November 26th. And then we go over to Mayan, and it straight up says on November 26th, it's sitting at 420. And I believe it. So I bet if we went on StockTwits, HURA would be at 420 right now. And that's a good number to be at as it's about to cross through because it's going to get smoking. So keep your eye on it. There's some resistance there at like 463, and it should just get right through that as well. So HURA, again, it caught my eye the other day. I put it on the list and we didn't look at it for a day or two. And then I looked at it today and said, wow, this thing's definitely going. And well, there you go. So, we have that look where we know they're definitely going, and we just got to make sure we get them before they definitely go like that. So, but keep your eye on it because it still looks really good right there. HURA. And, so yeah, there you go. When they have that look, you just know they're gonna run, and we can point them out with no problem. I'm telling you, with that trend spider chart that I have, I feel like I'm in the matrix in it. I feel like I'm in the chart with it. It's like it just tells me exactly what it wants to do. It's the craziest thing anymore. And and that's why I tell you I rely on it so much because without that bad boy, we wouldn't be this accurate picking all these 100%ers and stuff and just nailing them as accurate as we can. Of course, you can throw a bunch in there and they'll start hitting, but we get them pretty accurate and know exactly when they're running up for us. So, as long as we're looking at it for a day or two, we're good to go. And yeah, these them charts are just amazing. I used to be able to do it with FinViz, and I just can't do it anymore with them because they just don't give you that accuracy. Because the prices are all over because they don't follow the pre-market and after hours like they should. But anyway, KDLY, here you go. This one was running up today and in the top, and I have a feeling this could keep running tomorrow. KDLY. So keep an eye on that for some momentum. 149 to 221. It's at 197, and it could stay up there and keep running up there. So keep an eye on that one. KDLY, MDAI. Let's look at that one. MDAY, because this one ran up yesterday. I remember we were looking at it. MDI, or wait, what is it? Hold on. MDAI. Yeah, hold on. Let me look. Or is it MDIA? I don't even know. MD. Is there two? There's two of them. Oh man, I put two of them in. I don't even know which one it's supposed to be now. I wrote down, hold on, MDAI. There's an MDIA as well. So it definitely confused the hell out of me right there. But we'll look at MDAI, which is spectral AI. We looked at that one yesterday. And I do remember, I can tell by the chart, it did run up today 14 cents and it's curling up really nice. And that was definitely confusing. My chart, MDAI, definitely this one. And it ran up today, 208. It actually came down. It ran up yesterday. So that must have been the after hours. And that's what I see here. And it's just yeah, that's weird. 151. What was its high? It says 174. That wasn't even, I don't know what the heck that thing's showing. But anyway, let's look at TrendSpider. It opened at 208 and actually pulled back, but it ran up yesterday to 232. So it might be pulling back there. And again, it's just so bad that it looks like it's about to curl through and run, and the thing looks like it already had its run and did what it was supposed to do on TrendSpider, and I got to go with that. So it's just bizarre that they can be that far off, or FinViz can just be that far off. And again, this is the elite, so it's not like I'm using just the 15-minute behind normal non-paid service. This is supposed to have accurate pre-market and after hours pricing, and they're just so far off, it's crazy. And again, I could fly through these way faster if the charts were accurate because I could go, "Yup, that's what it is. Look at mine and tell you immediately what it's going to do." But when I look at it and it's not set up the right way, and I go, "Oh, wait a second, I can't tell what it's doing." It obviously takes a little bit longer, and I got to kind of question it too. And that's why recently I just keep saying, I believe the TrendSpider ones are the right ones. So I just keep going with them. But that's why I keep saying this because I keep looking at them and they look like I'm looking at two planets, two different planets here. So, don't mind me if when that happens. I'm just trying to get an accurate look at them and I can't because the pricing's weird and the chart's not right. But anyway, AMBA, this one was running up the last few days, and I mean, this thing is set up as well. It's getting in the top. They have some earnings coming up on the 26th today. They had earnings actually, and I guess it did well because it went up over $15 in the after hours. AMBA. So yeah, keep an eye on that for some momentum in the morning as well, because that one looks like it was trying to do something. Not trying. That one was doing something today, and it's still trying to set up, is what I was gonna say. So it could totally run up a little bit more, pull back as it sets up, and keep running. So that's a semiconductor equipment company, and AMBA, Ambarella. And yeah, that one might be a good one to keep an eye on as well because it is set up ACHR. This is aerospace and defense, and it's been running up there. Archer Aviation, we always look at it because whenever we go through them, it's like the very first one we look at. So we've definitely looked at it down here in the threes. It's way up in the sevens, and I don't know if you want to mess with it up here because it's way up there and looks like it's about to pull back to me. So maybe it tries to bounce back up in the top, but nothing I would mess with. And that's ACHR right there, Archer Aviation. And let's take a look at AMGN. Let's see what that's doing. Ooh, this one looks like it could be an interesting one. What did this do? This one, 293 to 297. AMGN, it's a drug manufacturer. It was running up and like just took a quick dip down. It's been dipping down, but then tried to run. It was curling up. This one's interesting for sure. Let me look on mine. Yeah, I have to look at this tomorrow. It had a really nice dip down to 254 today, and I could tell something wasn't right here. Let me see. Where's that low say? 257. And yeah, it says 257, 254 it looks like, but it's at 279 right now, and I don't think it's ready to bounce back up just yet. And we will keep an eye on this one because this one's an interesting one for sure and it is getting set up there and it's way down here. So I think that's a bargain because it was been trading at like the 320s and that one could be a good ripper AMGN and that's a good one again for your options because you can get it relatively cheap and then if it jumps up like that you're going to make a hell of a profit on it. So even with the options you look for them bad boys to have them nice gaps for you and then the big caps and stuff that have the ETFs, you just look at the best one that's setting up that's going to run. For example, when Tesla was doing it, I had TSLL, the thing like cashed out like a lottery ticket. I wasn't taking screenshots every day, but I was just jumping into the ones I thought were the best, most profitable ones real quick and just nailing them. And it was crazy. I'm telling you, you couldn't trade stocks and make that much. That was for sure. And they were easy. I mean, just a piece of cake to do and didn't even take that much time. So I'm going to explain it all. I kind of was talking about it earlier a little bit, and I keep t bringing it up, but yeah, it just kind of blows my mind because I've been doing it for so long. So many people told me for so many years to get into options, and finally just kind of jumped into it. I guess I needed a brain injury. I don't know what the hell it was. I was very thick-headed, I guess, clearly to be able to take that 10-ton jack with the pressure of a house off my head. And yeah, finally I listened and started looking at options and I'm like, holy cow, this is the greatest thing. Why did someone tell me this about 3 years ago? And everybody did, so I can only blame myself. But again, things happen for a reason. I won't be upset, but it is pretty wild. I'm telling you, I'm just blown away by it. And again, I don't think I'm trading them exactly how most people do it. I'll show you my method, but again, with our accuracy with the charting, we can kind of do it that way and push, I guess, push the envelope a little bit and maximize them profits like really crazy. So it's really cool thing, and we'll definitely get way into it. So HAO is down to 20 cents, dipped down 3 cents. It was trying to get running and I mean it still don't even look bad there and it could bounce back off, but it's just a hard look at the moment. So we'll have to take a look at it tomorrow with that pullback on the 20 right there. It's just like it could do anything. It could pull back more, it could try to bounce back up into the 26-cent area and try to get moving again. It's just a really hard look at the moment. So we will have to take a look at HAO and see what that's going to do. And AGRI. And the more I look at penny stocks now, it's so funny because I love them and I still look at them all the time. I'll look at any of them at any moment and tell you what they're going to do. It's a great brain exercise and they're exciting just to, again, I almost kind of like to paper trade them, I guess, and see if you're right about it and what they're going to do. And you don't have to, you can't possibly trade all of them. So, it's kind of fun exercise to do it and get you prepared for the ones that you're really going to trade. And the more I look at them and see how volatile they've been and just not running the way that they should, like they used to, it makes it more even appealing and even more exciting to be like, yeah, I think pivoting into the right direction here, and it definitely makes sense, and I see why. And yeah, because I mean, you look at some of these, and I look at them real quick, and I'm like, man, that should have popped on certain days, and they're just not doing it. Maybe it'll start moving again, like I said. And then the new administration comes in, maybe the penny stocks will start moving again, and they're fun, but they are just not doing what they used to do, and they used to be great. I'm telling you, I did really well with them, and they were fun back then. You still see, again, they're more of the, I was saying this last night, more like the dollar or like $2 one, $3 ones are popping up. $4 ones, look, the $4 one, they're like 100 and something. They're like the new penny stocks, to be honest with you. And I think we'll start looking at a few more of them as the show goes into December, because again, I think they're just the most profitable, best ones. And some of these really cheap penny ones are just tough. You get that really quick pop on it, and yeah, you get a fast pop over 100%. But a lot of times they're in the pre-market and they are fast. I mean, look at Elab, for example, the other day. What was it, Monday or something? The other day, whenever we knew it was going to pop up, it ran 100%, and it did it in the regular pre-market at like 7 a.m. So you definitely had a shot to get out of it with no problem. But it was quick. I don't think it lasted past 7:45 or 8 o'clock. I'm almost positive it wasn't up that high at 9:30. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly, but I know it was pretty quick that it had pulled back, and yeah, it shoots up over 100%. And if you didn't get to sell it, and then it starts reverse splitting, then a day or two later, you're like, God damn that thing, and then it just kept pulling back, and that's what's going to happen with it. And now they're going to reverse split it, and it's going to pop. But again, look where that price is going to be when it pops, right around that $3 area, and $2, $3. I bet it'll open up around probably, and it'll look really attractive, and it'll get cruising. So, like I said, I kind of picked up on that, and the more I look at some of these cheap ones, I'm sitting there staring at AGRI, and it did have that pop when STX Confidential was looking at it, and even called it out there on November 13th. But ever since that, and again, it could have had some good momentum there. I mean, I had 291 million in volume. I don't know how much more you need, but these shorters grab a hold of this damn thing, and you went from that day you ran up like in the 5 cents over six, and now you're back at 3 cents. And so if you didn't get rid of it that day, you're down on it basically. And that's the problem with these, because the shorters grab these things and they destroy it, and it's done. Like it's toast. And this thing will probably have to reverse split to do something, or try to bounce off this bottom. It actually looks like it might try to bounce off the bottom and have a little run. But they're going to have to reverse split it to get it back to compliance. It's down at 3 cents. They're not going to be able to run this up to $1 for over 10 days consecutively, which that's what they would essentially need to do. So, yeah, it's just a different trading world. And I kind of explain, you constantly have to pivot with things. And wow, that's an amazing chart on mine. What the fuck is that? That is the craziest thing I ever saw. I have to take a picture of it. It definitely don't look like that on here. What is going on? That is wild. AGRI on my chart looks so crazy right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I've never seen anything look like that before on a chart. Just a wild chart. I'm interested now if that's gonna pop tomorrow. So just let's keep our eye. I'll tell you, it's like looking at two different worlds too, because it doesn't look like that on FinViz. But you look at mine, it looks wild right there. So keep your eye on it. Something's going on with this AGRI. Are they doing something tomorrow? Does it say anything? I don't know. I don't see anything. November 20th looks like the last time anything was on FinViz. But yeah, it looks pretty crazy right here, AGRI. So just keep an eye on it if you're into that one. Because I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm definitely gonna look at it in the morning. I'm writing it down right now, because I want to look at that bad boy in the morning. That chart looks crazy. Just the way that it just came together like that and where it's sitting. So I'll look at it and see. DEVS, DevStream. Oh, this one's curling up really nice. This one should run. It was up 20 cents today. And so hold on. Let me see. DEVS. It looks like is it fairly new, isn't it? It's opened up on what? November 7th. So yeah, this thing's like brand new. It opened. Oh no, oh yeah, it was like a shell company or something. Yeah, this one's weird. It is curled up there, but I don't know if it's going to continue to move. It looks like it wants to, and it looks like it has a shit ton of room in its way. And then it also looked like it was a shell company. It's a pollution and treatment controls in Canada. So keep an eye on this thing, DEVS. This thing could get cruising tomorrow, guys. It's curled up trying to get out of the basement, and it appears to have some momentum right there. It's at 74 cents. I would say keep an eye on it for sure because that one could get moving right there. NCPL is net capital. I know that because we've looked at it a lot. NCPL, and this one was trying to run up yesterday, ran up a little higher today, 205 to 224 and just a little healthy pullback. That one could continue its way up. NCPL and what it do? 202 to 252, and it's at 184 now. Totally different look. And let's see. I mean, it still could get cruising up there. I'd have to look at NCPL tomorrow to give you a better idea on that one. And let's look at, didn't we look at LODE, which was Comstock? I thought we did. Pretty sure we did. Yeah, we definitely did. It was looking it's just sitting, it's flat right there as it crossed through. I know it did. It looks like a dip and rip, and I want to look at it in the morning. So look at that bad boy again. EYEN. We were keeping an eye on it, and it is curling up. It was up 2 cents. It did look good today, and I think it's going to continue to curl up. That bottom was probably yesterday at 8 cents, right under 9 cents, and it's back up at 10.5. So keep an eye on Inovia, IYEN, because it's looking pretty good right there. It's trying to set up. And that AZI, this one had run up and it's pulling back and it's hitting that 50 right now. Right now, not sure if it's trying to stop there and bounce back up. It's not giving me to look like it is, but I'm not saying it can't. It's just not telling me that it wants to at the moment, even on mine. But I'm not saying it can't stick itself right there and bounce back. I'm just not seeing it yet, or it didn't give that indication. So I'll look at AZI, see what it wants to do. SKK. This one we were looking at, and it had that nice dip right there. I guess were we looking at it when it ran up, and now it's pulled back here. I think so. I'm not even sure. I don't really remember, but it's at 149, and it is just down there. Let me take a better look on mine. Yeah, I mean it's flat right there. It had that, like I said, on November 21st, it ran from that 7 to 11:45. We were definitely looking at it. I remember on them that doing it. And then it pulled back right after that down into the twos. And now it's at 145 right now. So um, I can't tell if it's ready to bounce back up or not yet. It's setting up, but it's not giving you a look like it wants to bounce just yet. So I'll have to keep an eye on that bad boy as well. And let's look at BLNK and see what that's doing. BLNK, that one. Oh yeah, we look at this, the blink charging. This one's setting up. It's just a little flat. Ran up yesterday, and again, this one's gonna run back up to that 176, 180 area, and then we'll have to see what it wants to do. Um, did I skip DASH? I think I did DoorDash. I don't remember doing it. It's way at the top, and it's a hard one to tell. I would be very careful. It almost looks like it wants to run up, and then at the same time, it looks like it wants to come down. So it's not something I would mess with at the moment. It was up 47 cents right there. Let me see on mine if I can get a better idea for Dash. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I would be very careful with it. It's way up there and it runs at the top quite a bit, but again, I think it's going to have to see a little bit of pullback relatively soon. Might not even be crazy down into the 170 area, but it's at 179, so you don't want to try to get it and see it come down to 170 on you. So just keep an eye if it can crawl right through because it's right there on that line. Let me see. I mean, yeah, the lines are like almost touching. So, the MACD lines, and you can't even tell if it wants to crawl through what the heck it's even doing. But if it can just get up in the top a little higher, it will run up. It'll be a momentum play. But again, be careful because it is way up there and it's been up there for DoorDash. And I think I skipped that one when I was going through. Just caught my eye, and I just remember writing it down and looking at it earlier, and I'm like, I don't think I did that. So anyway, BLNK and an XTIA. Let's take a look at that one, that aerospace company. It was pulling back, and another one doesn't look terrible. That bottom looks like it was down here at 4 cents. Today's bottom was still not that low. It was 0.0410, but again, it wasn't four even. And it could easily try to bounce up. The 20 is right there at 5 cents. We'll keep an eye on it tomorrow, see if it wants to actually do something finally. If not, yeah, I'm not so sure, but we'll see if it tries to get curled up here. Maybe it's a dip and rip. I don't know. You can't exactly tell. And again, I'll look at it tomorrow, Friday. We'll see if it wants to do something. And if not, we won't really worry about it. It did run up the other day, and it looks like it wanted to set up and run some more. And we'll have to just keep an eye on that. XTIA. And what is K? Kellanova. I'm not sure what that is. It almost looks like a shell company. It's way up here and it's just running. I don't know what the heck's going on. This thing's a crazy one, honestly. Uh, just like went ballistic one day, it seems like, after earnings back here in July and then August, and then it ran into the 70s, and then it's been in the 80s and just running flat up there. And I mean, it looks like it wants to get wild again. So I have no idea what's up with this thing. K, does anyone even know like anything about this thing? Because it looks crazy if you look at this chart. Um, yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna scroll down today. Kalanovic, Columbia Dividend Opportunity Fund top contributor. I have no idea what this is. It's a consumer defense packaged foods USA company. I have no clue. And it was way at the top. It pulled itself out to make more room so it can go higher and go. Yeah, I have no idea. This is wild. We'll have to look into this laptop travel. This K. Kellanova, I have no idea what that's all about, but it's pretty crazy looking, I can tell you that. And so yeah, we'll check that bad boy out. I don't even know. Someone mentioned that one. I think it was RD, was it? Possibly. I forget who did that one. And but yeah, that one looks pretty wild, I must say. I'm gonna have to look into that. K. Yeah, look into K. That sounds about good. Anyway, VMAR. Here we go. Vision Marine laptop travel. Oh yeah, but yeah, we gotta look into that thing because it's crazy looking way up there. And like I said, it looks like it wants to just shoot off even higher. So anyway, Vision Marine, that VMAR. This one was setting up. It was down 13 cents, and this looks like it almost might be a dip and rip situation down here. So keep your eye on this bad boy in the morning for a little dip and rip if it wants to. VMAR. Yeah, I'll take a look and see if it wants to pop off of that. QUBT. And this one didn't run back up even more today. No, this one ran up yesterday. One of them ran up a little higher today. This one went 642 to 730. It's at 650 area, and it's just coming down in the top right there, but not looking terrible. It could try to stay up there depending on the market tomorrow. It has like 45 million in volume, and that's at quantum computing. And again, we were early on every single one of these guys, so we've seen every single one of them. I think between Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travels lists. I'm pretty sure between the two of them, they showed us every single one of them nice and early, and they all ran up like maniacs. So, yeah, we just kind of point out everything on the show. And again, you can't possibly trade them all, but you could have been like, yo, I like these quantum things. I don't know. I'm going to pick one. They all went nutty. So, you were winning no matter which one you picked. And again, you pick the one you're most confident in and comfortable with. You can see what I did with the Apple, and that was just experimenting. option, but that was the option that I was most confident in going up, and it did exactly what I wanted to do. Maybe another one could have went higher, but I was very confident in Apple doing exactly that at that timing, and it did exactly that at that timing because the chart said it wanted to. And some of them look like they want to pull back, some look like they want to go up. You don't play with them. You don't have to get aggressive and play and like be in one every single minute. You just got to pick the right one and be confident with it. And then, and like I said, you're not even buying them for that much. The shares are more than the one option, and you're getting 100 shares per option. Maybe it's around the same price. It depends. It varies in price, and we'll go through. That's the one thing I'm not exactly sure and clear about. And I'll tell you what I do to figure out the pricing because I kind of have to cheat and look at and kind of set it up with the market look and see what the bid is and the asking price, and then I go back and change it with my limit, and I put it to whatever the highest is or even over because it hits it every time. So yeah, if which one the ask is the bid and the ask. So yeah, the ask is usually the higher one. I always set it for that and it executes it every time. If you try to sell it market, which I made this mistake too, and again I was learning, didn't know it didn't make a difference. But if you try to sell it on market, you could literally lose out a couple $100 just because of that bit, the ask price and the bid price. You're in there and somehow they can manipulate that price when you sell it at market. So somebody was explaining it to me today. I don't fully understand it, but that's what I do. I've learned that real quick too on one of the trades. I was like, oh, what do we do? You just set it here, and then I was like, nah, that one should have been way higher. What went wrong? And looked into it, and I was like, all right, so now we're gonna see exactly what the prices are. Go back in, change it to a limit, set it to my price, what I want, and it's like I said, every single one executes. So I'm like, wow, well, they sell up there exactly where you want them to, too. So it's not like sometimes the penny stocks you set them up like a tenth of a penny too high and it doesn't hit that spot, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down. This thing I'm setting it as high as I possibly can, and it's executing them almost every time. So. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. The Apple one, obviously, what's Apple trading at today? 235 or something it was. Yeah, 235. When I sold this option, and don't ask me why it does this, because if anyone else understands it, I don't quite understand it. And I was asking people about this, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but each one has a different price. So for example, my bid and ask, like when I sold it and I don't remember the exact price, but it was like $7 and something. Don't ask me why, because the price is at 235. That's the part I don't completely understand. And that's where I have to go in again and just set it up where, I look at the market, I preview what it says it's going to be at the market, and then I can see the bid and ask and everything, and then I can go in and adjust my limit price. And like I said, I make it as high as I can and execute it up there. And it can be a couple $100 difference if you don't do it that way. So if you do it market as opposed to limit and don't set your price. But yeah, you can absolutely set your price up too and sell them. And yeah, it's been really good. So anyway, I know we've been talking a lot about options, but just something fun and new. And like I said, we've seen all these quantum computings, and that's what I was saying. We've seen everything earlier. You can't even trade them all. It's so many great opportunities, but you pick the ones that you're so confident in. And you go with it. And like I said, you do a couple at a time. You have one that's about popping, so you're getting ready to sell it, one setting up, and you're looking for another, and maybe you're trading another. So you got a good four on rotation, maybe five tops. But if you're new at it, keep it low at three so it doesn't rack your brain. And if you're confident in them, you can clearly make your money way more than penny stocks and being very and playing these real volatile ones. I promise you, it'll be a lot safer. And again, start with one option, and you can even start with the smaller companies. Like for example, I traded a couple options on space. The Yang was cheap. Well, that was much cheaper before. It's still pretty cheap. Anything that's under $100 is fairly cheaper. And obviously, some of the bigger ones like Meta, it's up there a little bit higher. At five something, that your option's going to be a little higher. So, um, it's right around there, but that one could be a $500 option. And but again, it's gonna pay, and I would look at the ETF on it. I forget what it is, but I would look at that for sure. And again, that thing, what did I say yesterday? Zuckerberg is up to something. It's up over $8. So we'll go through them in a minute. Let me bust through the rest of this list really quick. And then, like I said, we'll get into that stuff. LGHL, the old lion. Let's see what it's doing. Down a penny. Wow, that pulled back almost looks like a dip and rip. And again, these things look like they were setting up and they start dipping and ripping. You're not really worrying about that with these big caps, especially. We're not going to be worried about it much at all. We're going to know when they're going to be pulling back. We always do. And then the beautiful thing is that you can play the market going down with your puts. So, like for example, Tesla or not Tesla, MicroStrategy, a great one. You knew it was going down. All you had to do is set your put $1 lower and it dropped down, whatever it dropped down today. I forget what it was, MicroStrategy. But what was it? I forget what it. We'll go through it. But yeah, it definitely came down today. And MSTR, I couldn't even think of it. $49 it came down. So yeah, it opened up at like 382 and its high was 403. So anywhere in that range, you were fine because it came down to like 353. That's a hell of a hit right there in one day. And that's exactly what the things I was looking at and talking about. And that's what we're going to be more focused on because then the profit margins are insane right there. And like I said, you can even pick that a week or two out and it drops down that much in a day and sell it right then and there and not even care. It's way more than you could ever made when if you were trying to trade that stock. Because again, the stock cost you $353 a share. So you're forking out some major dough to get some shares to actually make some money. Well, you're gonna buy one share and make $49, or you're gonna buy an option for that 300, have 100 shares and watch that thing come down $49 or even $20 for you, and you're gonna make tenfolds. And especially if you did it with the ETF. So just giving you examples of why it's different, how it works, and what I've been experienced for the last month or two. And I've been telling you guys, I just been experimenting. So just trying to give you an idea of why it's been a little different and why I like it so much. And I think you guys are going to love it as well. And MDJ, and again, like that lion one is just setting up and then it pulls back like 5%. Now it's pulling back and dipping. Just tough right there. These guys are just really tough looks. I mean, we can definitely nail them, but then you got to be able to trade them right. I'd rather be, so confident that I knew that Apple was going up. It wasn't even a question. It was a piece of cake, and it was a piece of cake to sell it too. I mean, you weren't worrying about dipping down. It was actually going up higher as I was trying to sell it, and I was just like, whatever, I'll just sell it right here. And again, that's where I was putting in the limit price and the limit price, and it kept going up. I kept going back out and raising the price up higher, and then I would hit refresh and it would go even higher, and I kept raising the price, and finally I just put a price up there that wasn't even on. It was higher than the bids and the asks, and it hit it. It executed immediately. I was like, I was freaking crazy. I'm like, this is wild. So, yeah, I was happy to get out of it right there. And again, it has an expiration for Friday, so that's just what. Again, it's just a different world, but it's amazing. And MDJH definitely setting up right here, looking much better, I would say. MDJH, I think that one's looking good to try to move here. So keep your eye on that bad boy. I know somebody's looking at it as RD possibly, I forget, but someone's looking at that bad boy and it is looking good. KAVL. This was up a little bit today, and that bottom, I think, was yesterday, and it was at 65 and a half. And I think you're going to see this one start to move. KAVL. I know someone mentioned it the other day. What did it do today? 70 to 81. It's at 79. What's this say? It's at 78. Yeah, it closed at 72. It did jump up in the after hours, and it is looking much better. You can tell. So keep your eye on that for a little momentum in the morning because it's not looking bad. And VVOS, let's see, Vivos Therapeutics, that's getting up to the top, hitting some resistance. If it can stay up over this 358 area, say 360, it can get moving. So keep your eye on that VVOS. It's not a guarantee. I'm just looking at it. It could pull back. You got a lot of the lines meeting up right there, so I can't. Let me look. Hold on. VVOS. It's right there where it could just like go up or go down. It's hard to tell, to be honest. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably going to pull back. Just because it's hitting that resistance and has run up for about 4 days, and again, we were talking about that. Anytime I see that now. I get a little a little red flag. They don't like to run more than 4 days in a row, it seems like. And that's been for a long time. I mean, you'll see some of them, but most of them in the patterns when you can kind of tell when they're getting run up there and then they need to pull back. So that's what I was just looking at, and it kind of has that look on VVOS, although it does want to run. It could just pull back and keep moving, but it does have that look. ALLR. This was looking decent yesterday. And that bottom is still down here at 116. You're at 124. Could be just a little pullback right there today as well. ALLR is not looking bad. Like I said, it's just a little pullback look, nothing crazy. TOI, this one was looking good though, guys. This one's bouncing up, curling up. It was up 2 cents, and TOI is looking really good. And I'd keep my eye on the Oncology Institute tomorrow, 16 to 20. It's at 17, and it looks really good right there. So keep your eye on that bad boy because that looks nice. And CGTX, let's see. That was down a little bit, just pulling back. It could be trying to bounce. Let me see. CGTX. It could be. It ran up yesterday pretty good, 46 to 70, 39 to 49 today. It's at 40. I'd have to look at that one tomorrow. It could be trying to bounce, but after yesterday's look, it's a hard to tell right there. So I'd have to look at that in the morning. GDXD, that's the microsectors gold miners, three times inverse leveraged ETN. And this bad boy is pulling back, it looks like. So inverse means that it would probably be the bear one, and it does look like it's kind of bearish. This one could pull back to that $13 area, and it is crossed down and looks like it does want to go down there. Let me see. GD. XD. Let me just take a better look. It's like right there. It's a hard look. It's like sitting right there and teetering. You can't really tell what it wants to do. It could go either way. I'd have to look at this one in the morning as well, just to get a better idea, because it's just sitting right there, like not telling you what it wants to do. So I'll look at that one in the morning. AMDL, that is our AMD EFT or EFT ETF, and it was running up this morning. It got up to that resistance. It opened the 1094 up to 1095, but it ran the last couple days, the 22nd Friday. It started moving, and yesterday it was moving up there 1062 to 1089, and then today it got up to that 1094, 1095 area, and it's back to 1014. It should get set up again, but it definitely just hit that resistance and came down today for whatever reason. We'll look at AMD and just see what it looks like, but I'm sure it's very similar right there. I actually didn't look at it, but it was down $3 right there. But yeah, it hit that resistance at the 20 and right at that 142. I mean, pulling back, it's going to set back up and get moving. So, but yeah, it did run up there for you yesterday and a little more today. So you were up there. I mean, you got that movement and Like I said, we were looking at it and you could tell it was going to get cruising. It ran up a little bit, hitting resistance. It's going to keep setting up and running up higher for AMD. So that one will look good right there. And let's look, and that would be AMDL too. CELH. Let's see that Celsius Holdings. That one's pulling back at the moment. It just ran up yesterday, up to that 31.11, and it's at 27 right now. CELH. And yeah, that's pulling back. It looks like it hit that top yesterday and not at the top, but just like kind of topped out on the 50 and is pulling back for whatever reason. I'm not even sure why. You would think it wouldn't to stay in that channel right there, but maybe it'll try to bounce back up tomorrow. Have to look at that one, but definitely just pull back there. And AMBO, that's Ambo Education Holdings, and this one's cruising and looking good. So watch this one tomorrow. Up 23%, 145 to 185, but could keep its momentum tomorrow. Not looking bad, 146 to 215 at 198. A little different on mine and did run up. But again, I would still look at it for a momentum play in the morning, AMBO. And let's go through our laptop ones real quick, and then we'll hit our crypto, which has been pulling back, and our big caps, which I've been kind of talking about anyway tonight with options. So let's roll through and see our laptop travel ones. These are going to be all set up right here. I didn't look at any of them actually, so they'll all be new for me. Let's look at them. Aqua Metals. This one was just kind of bouncing out of the bottom right there, and it looks like a little healthy pullback today. AQMS is what we're looking at, and it looks like a little bit of pullback, nothing crazy. So it's setting up. I'll look at that one. BCG. That's that Bin Capital one. That one ran way up before, and it's oh man, the 20 and 50 are trying to set up, and it's pulling back. This one has a very interesting look. BCG. I'd look at this tomorrow and see if it wants to bounce. I got to mark that one because I have to look at that. BCG. Just an interesting look, and again, I just love the patterns and the looks on certain things, so I just like to know. And again, it tells you things in the future too. When you look at something, you go, well, at least I have something to go back on. And, that pattern did this last time. I kind of remember, maybe you don't, but yeah, you see things and they just jump out at you after seeing them a few times. So, I love to look at them. And again, this is an interesting one. That 20 and 50 meeting up looks like it wants to pop up, and yet it's curled through coming down and pointing down like it wants to go down. Just gives you a completely mixed signal right there on BCG, and it's just completely interesting to me. So I want to look at it. BMR, this one just kind of popped up into that channel right there, pulling back a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, it's right in that channel. It should run that channel right there, 291. Get back into the 320s and then try to set up to get running. And that is BMR and COCH. Let's see what that is. Envoy Medical. This one's setting up really good, guys. Keep an eye on this for tomorrow. COCH. Yeah, I would say keep an eye on that. That looks really solid right there. So keep an eye there. CSBR, CSBR, Champions Oncology. Hold on. SBR. Hate when I don't do that. Sometimes I don't click on the thing and I don't I'm just typing it in. It's not putting any letters in because I didn't click to do it in the search bar. I do it all the time actually. CSBR up 15 cents. And this one has a real interesting look, like it was curling down but wants to pop up and go wild. So I would keep an eye on that. That does look like it wants to try to pop up. FORA, let's see that bad boy. FORA. And that is Forian or something. And this one does look like it wants to curl back up and run. So I would keep an eye on Forian right there. That looks good. FORA. FLYX, I think I have. FLYX. Yeah. Fly exclusive. Let's see if it wants to fly exclusively. It does. Actually, it's curling up really good there. Let me see. FLYX, which isn't F well. Oh my goodness, come on. FLYX. There we go. Let's see. On mine, it's just kind of pulling back right there. Is this the same chart I'm even looking at? No, it's totally not. It definitely is not. I knew that from a fact. FLYX. It gave me FLYE that last time. That's why. Here's the right one. All right. Yeah, this one is looking really good. It does look like it wants to fly up to 251. And I would keep my eye on FLYX tomorrow because it is looking good right there. And HSCS. Hold on. HS. These letters are all confusing me here. HSCS is looking good there. Let me type it in here. HSCS. And let's see. Oh, yeah, that one's looking really good too. What is it? Heart Sciences. That one's looking nice too. ISPO. Let's see what that's up to. That one's just pulling back a hair right there. Let's see. ISPO. ISPO. Here we go. Down 17 cents, hitting that line. We'll see if it wants to bounce off. It's just kind of trading in that channel. Nothing crazy. I'll look at it. LIPO, I believe. Lipella Pharmaceuticals. That's definitely it. And that one's right there on the 20. Let's see. LIPO. It's getting set up, guys. So it should run up to 319. It's a 285 and try changing trading that channel right there for LIPO. And let's look at LSB. That's at Lakeshore Biopharm. And actually, I saw this today because it's on my watch list. It ran up like 58 cents, 250 to 399, and it's looking pretty good again. Let me look at it on mine. I actually checked this out today. And yeah, check out that LSB again because it is looking good. That's at Lakeshore Biopharma. We were looking at it before and it's setting up again. NVVE down 4 cents and an interesting look right there. Let me see. NVVE. That one's getting set up. I would say keep an eye on that because that is definitely getting set up right there. PTHL, let's see that. Let me know what you guys want to see too. If we're missing anything, I'll run through them and then we'll hit our crypto and big caps and wrap it up pretty quick there so that we'll hit tomorrow morning pre-market and then call it a day because it'll be Thanksgiving on Thursday. So here we go. PTHL. This one's gonna roll off. Watch this guy get set up right there. PTHL. We're gonna watch that one. Nah, I don't think it'll do it tomorrow, but watch that bad boy. That's gonna be a nice runner, and so is this bad boy. PRTG. This one's looking good too, right here. Let me see. Yeah, I would say PRTG could be cruising tomorrow. QLGN. This one I know we've looked at a couple times, and let me see. Let me type it in here. QLGN. And let's see. Just a little pullback right there. Nothing crazy. Could be a little dip and rip as it pulled back today. Yeah, it's not looking bad. I could look at that tomorrow. SLND, Southland Holdings. And that's just kind of pulling back. Went up in the after hours. I have to look at this. SLND. Yeah, it's not looking bad. Just it looks like it wants to trade that channel 295 to 335 while it sets up, and then it'll get rolling. SNOA, I know we looked at this before and it's down a penny, and this one's getting set up. I know we looked at it and it ran up. And let's see, SNOA. There we go. And yeah, it's right between that channel 298 and 282, and it should get set up right there. SNOA. And let's look at TPCS real quick. Tech Precision Corp. And this one's actually bouncing up and going up 10 cents on TPCS. And yeah, watch this tomorrow. This should keep its momentum and keep moving right there. And TTNP, let's see what that's up to. That Titan Pharmaceuticals, and that's rolling up and going up. So keep an eye on that because that looks really good. TTNP. And yeah, that one's looking good. You'll probably have a popper there tomorrow on TTNP. So there you go. Let me know what you guys want to look at. I'll take a quick look at crypto real quick. And yeah, a lot of nice ones right there on Laptop Travels list. Like I said, that TTNP is looking good. That TPCS should bounce. PRTG, keep an eye on it. FLYX and FORA and COCH and so many other ones are setting up. So them ones were looking really good, and VKTX is looking great. That Viking to continue going up. Buru is looking good. The Yang, EJH, keep your eye on that. NXPON, SEDG, and OCGN. And Tilray wants to keep going up, and so does LODE. I'm going to look at that in the morning. Adobe ADBE, it's an expensive one, but it's moving. BENF is looking good. SDOT's moving. And also that HURA, I don't know what that's up to, but it caught my eye and it was moving. And KDLY looks like a momentum play there. DEVS is an interesting one. And keep your eye on that EYEN one. And what is it? TOI, that one looks really interesting and good too. So a lot of great looks right there. And again, let me hop into crypto. Let me know what you guys want to see, and we will get cruising here. So here we go. Let's look at crypto. It's down. Bitcoin's at 92,555, it looks like. And let me see what it's doing. It crossed through, and honestly, I think it's going to just kind of make a base right here. I think you might have seen your bottom today, and it's going to try to roll back up. Ripple's at 136. Let me just take a quick look at it and see what it was doing, because that one was still curled up, and yeah, it's pulling back. I have a feeling that one's going to come down to the 70 and roll back off of it. Solana's at 231, and that one's pulled back. It's crossed down. And again, I think you're just getting some room being made there. It's in the 50 on the RSI, and it can easily curl back around, made a ton of room, and get moving again. Cardano's back to 94. And let's see what that's up to. Another one just kind of pulling back. It's still in the 70s, so it could just roll right up there. Doge is still at 38, and that one's just crossed through. And again, just kind of pulling back there. It could easily, all of these could easily curl right back up with no problem. What did Sheep do? Sheep was down like 3%, and Sheep is just pulling back there on it crossed down fine. I'm telling you, that's gonna when it crosses up, it's gonna have a crazy run. And let's just take a look at a few other ones real quick. Take a look at Bonk. That one's down like 4% and pulling back there. So yeah, Bonk's definitely pulling back, but again, I think they're just pulling back to set up to get crazy. WIF, that one's at 302 right now. That did pull back pretty good. And let's see, that one might come back down to your, what is that, your 50 right there. Yeah, that should be the 50. And yep, that's their 50. And that one actually did a nice little pullback there. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. How about that Floki? FLOKI, and recently got put on Coinbase, and it's just pulling back. It was way at the top, and we'll definitely keep an eye on all these bad boys. And there was one that somebody wanted me to look at. It was like WLD. Uh, I forget what the heck it's called, but I can do it on here. It's actually not on Coinbase, but I'll bring it up on crypto. I think it was called Worldwide. I forget what the heck it's even called. It doesn't say it on here, but it's coming back to that line right there. It's hitting your 20, and it's at 234. And I'd have to look at it. It does look like it wants to roll off, but I'm not exactly sure with how crypto looks, and I never looked at that one. So I can keep an eye on that bad boy tomorrow, and that's at WLD, and that is a crypto coin as well. So yeah, crypto just pulling back, but could easily bounce back. So I've been keeping an eye on it and posting about it. So there you go with that. Again, let me see what you guys want to see, and then we'll rock and roll through our big caps real quick and call it a night. So here we go. Let me go into the messages real quick and see what we have going on here. HSCS. Let's see. HSCS. Here we go. Hearts on. Yeah, yeah, that thing's gonna break out, guys. Laptop travels right. That one's gonna get moving. TNYA from Luis Rodriguez. So let's see what Lewis has today for us. It looks like it's going to be a momentum play up into the top for sure. TNYA. Let's see it. It's called like Tenya Therapeutics, and it's at 336 in the after hours. It looks 339, and it's running up there. It's about to get into the top, and I think it's going to run up into the top right there, Lewis. So I think you will have a nice momentum play on that in the morning. That AGRI, we looked at AgriForce, and like I was saying, I was staring at it, and it's coming down to that bottom. It could easily bounce off. It looks like a dip and rip situation to me. AGRI. And again, it looked pretty good before. It has that crazy, that's the one crazy look on my chart. I mean, the craziest look I've ever seen. And on the MACD, it's just so wild what it's doing. I'm gonna have to take a picture of it with my phone and post it out because it's wild. It looks like a set of steps or something. I've never seen anything like it. Maybe I have, but never really paid attention to that. But it looks crazy right there. AGRI. I'll definitely be checking that one out. Stock exchanger. SMLR. Let's see what that's up to, Luis Rodriguez. SMLR. I know we looked at it. Semler, who was talking about it? Sayer was talking about this. And this pulled out of the top and is coming back down, probably back to the 40s, I would say. It's at 54 right now in the after hours. SMLR. Yeah, it's going to come back to that line, and it could easily come back into the 46. Just pay attention to it. We'll watch and see if it pulls back some more. But yeah, you're going to get some of these bad boys at a great price. Now you see why I say never chase them up there and get them down at the better price. Yeah, they may run up another day or two or three or four, but when they come down and you're stuck in them, it sucks. Trust me. I know for a fact. I've done it a million times. And like I tell you, I've made every mistake more than once, unfortunately. And now it's just time to trade them smart, do the right thing, and lock in those profits and just nail it. I'm telling you, if you do it, you'll. Well, I've been telling you this for the last month and a half. You'll see your account just like blow up. And again, I was so used to these penny stocks where you're hitting pretty big percentages, which I'm doing now with options, but it was just a different mindset. So yeah, it's I'm telling you, I'm doing better already. Not already, but I mean, just looking at it with how easy it is, I can tell options will pay out way better than any penny stocks ever did. And like I said, I did really well with them for quite a few years there. And then they just kind of changed around, and I just stayed into the market and traded some here and there. But yeah, now it's time to really rip it apart. And I think we're on to something. So SMLR again. We'll see if that wants to pull back a little more, Luis Rodriguez. And MSTR held that support at 355. Let's see what MicroStrategy is doing. 353. It's at 360 in the after hours. It's going to hit that MACD. You're absolutely right about that. It's a matter of if it can hold it. And remember, Bitcoin and all them, they came through. So it could easily come through there and get reset up. And yeah, like Bitcoin, but yeah, Bitcoin looks like it wants to hold itself at 90,000. I honestly think that Bitcoin wants to kind of base out at this 90,000, and once it starts curling up, you may not see it back under 100,000 again. So it may hit that 100,000 and just go. That's what it kind of looks like it's setting up for. I've been keeping an eye on it. I was telling my buddy that I trade crypto with the same thing earlier, and I said, obviously, it's not set in stone, but that's at the moment what it was looking like. And I just looked at it real quick, and it still kind of looks that way. So I'll be keeping an eye on them overnight and in the morning, and obviously throughout the Thanksgiving and stuff. So keep everybody updated on that. But yeah, MicroStrategy just coming down and hitting that line, could come into the 320s. It did bounce up a little in the after hours, but still we'll have to look at MSTR in the morning just to see if it wants to bounce and what it's going to do. And clearly, if Bitcoin and them are still pulling back, that could cross down and go down. And run SEDG and FSLR. We definitely did them, but if you want, I'll run through them again. That sun run still looking good, just a little pullback as it was hitting the resistance right there. And again, it just kind of went flat for RUN. I think it'll still run up a little bit more. What was the other one? SEDG. I think that one's going to get moving. I remember saying that. a little pullback there, and I think this thing's getting set up, guys. So keep your eye on that bad boy. It has some room to run too. SEDG and FSLR. I don't know. We looked at that one first, solar, and that one is just hitting that 20. Let me see. FSLR. It is setting up. I don't know if it's going to be popping tomorrow, but it doesn't look bad there, Luis Rodriguez. So we'll keep an eye on that FSLR. But run should keep moving up. Maybe not pop up that much tomorrow, but continue its way up. And SEDG is looking really good right there. And uh, and there's a lot of controversy over that Kellanova merger back in August of 2024. So that's what Laptop Travel said, oh, they had what, Pringles and stuff. So I'm not exactly sure. I'll repost it. But yeah, that thing looks wild, guys. That K. And it's just way at the top up there. It almost looks like a shell company, but also looks like it wants to fly up higher. So I have no idea, but it is pretty wild. So keep your eye on that K. And is Kellogg's just changed the name? Oh, all right. So it is Kellogg's. You got it then. RD said that is Kellogg's, and they changed the name back in 2023. So that must be that crazy look that I see. And let me see. No, that's definitely not it. They just changed the name back here then. So whatever, they changed their name. I don't know what the heck it's doing up here. It's definitely run up and it looks like it wants to go higher. So I guess Kellanova now is Kellogg's and it looks pretty damn good. So I never even knew they changed their name, but there you go. Thank you, RD and Laptop Travel for letting us know because I had no idea what was going on with that thing and had no idea it was Kellogg. So, but it is pretty wild. It looks like it's curling up and looks good. Um, let's take a look and see what else is going on. That AMGN had bad clinical trials. Laptop Travel said that one was pulling back there. What else? Let me see. What are you guys all talking about? Um, Let's see, XTIA. We definitely looked into that one. I don't even know what I said about that. What did I even say? It was just pulling back there. Oh, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that for the next day or so. Doesn't look terrible. Could be a little dip and rip. We'll see if it does when it gets set up there at all. DEVS, well, that one looks pretty good. I'm telling you, that one looks crazy. That DevStream Corp. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. And IZM, Corey. Let's look at that one. IZM. Let's see what that's doing. We never looked at this. That one's a crazy look back in when the hell was that? April, back in April, thing went nutty and then it just came down and never went back up. Went up to like $50. It's at 232. Um, it looks like it's trying to crawl back up. It's right in between that channel. Let me take a better look at IZM here. Yeah, it's right in between that channel. It could pull back and just trade in there. Could come back into like the two, basically right in the 220s, 221 to 229. And as it's setting up, and then it'll get booming off. So just watch for it to do that and that 20 and 50 to meet up. And that's when it should get cruising for there. So Barbara said she can't wait to learn about options. She's been playing the pennies for a while, working a 9 to 5, and it's effing exhausting. You're not kidding. So she definitely wants to find a better way, an easier way to supplement some income without the BS and the RS diluting offerings. And looking forward to the video. And I'm looking forward to helping you guys and showing you. And like I said, I am definitely no expert at options. Just taught myself, to be honest. Had a little course. Literally, I took a course, and 2 weeks later, I got smashed in the head and I don't remember a whole lot of that course. I definitely don't, but I did look at the basics of it again and didn't get in. I learned all the straddles and all the like intricate stuff back then and was taking my notes and I looked at them. Don't remember any of it, but I said, oh, I don't care about any of that stuff. It's not really important right now. I'll learn it later as I go on. Let me figure out these calls and puts and even just the call options right now. And then as the market pulls back, we'll worry about the puts because it will pull back, and that's you can play the market both ways. And yeah, it's just made a huge, huge difference. And I will absolutely to show you guys how to do it. And like I keep telling you, it is so much better than the penny stocks. To know that Apple's not going to go dipping down real hard. And if you're playing penny stocks, you see, you got to put up some money. So you just start with one option, and you don't even have to start with an Apple or anything. I actually kind of started with Space Yang and a few of the smaller ones, and they're like $50 an option. So and you're getting 100 shares. So when it's like $70, or what is space at like $7 or something. Let me see. Let me just get it right. Yeah, $7. So you buy an option and you're getting 100 shares. And depending on your expiration and everything, you're buying them 100 shares with no problem for like $70. And so yeah, you're getting 100 shares for not 700, you're getting them for 70, which makes a huge difference. And then it goes up, and then it goes up even more to percentage wise than if you had the 100 shares of it, and had put out the $700, your your profits will be way higher. And again, I did exactly this. I bought a stock and an option. I told you when I was doing it, I was telling you guys. Lemonade, it was the one I did it with, and it wasn't even close. It was just like astronomical like difference. I was like, holy shit, this is wild. Why would we even do trade stocks anymore? It doesn't even make sense. And yeah, AMC doesn't look bad, down 6 cents today, but still looks great. And but yeah, lemonade, I tested it out. I did a ton of different experiments, trust me. And again, I was doing it very small, and I expect everybody to do the same thing. Start very, very small, one option, just like I was doing. And as you get confident, you buy two options or three. And again, if you're really confident in one and you know it's going to do what you're going to do, that's when you buy like, more than one option and you're confident with it, but you don't get crazy in the beginning and you get real comfortable with it, and then you nail them. And I'm telling you, you're just going to go, wow, this is so much better than trying to hit these really volatile ones. And again, we can pick the volatile ones all day. The penny stocks, it's not a problem. We can pick them like the back of our hand. The problem comes in to try to trade them when they're running up in 15 minutes and coming down. And you just like go up to eat breakfast and come down or do something, take a phone call, and you're like, holy shit, I just missed that thing and now I'm down on it. Like that was crazy. And I didn't have a sell set because I didn't know where it was going to run up to, and I didn't want to leave it on the table. So I was just going to do it as it was running up. And trust me, it's happened to me. That exact scenario has happened, and it moves that fast. And exactly what Barbara was saying, you get kind of tired of seeing the same thing happen over and over. And you're like, but I can pick these things with no problem, get them over 100%. And I started setting the cells on some of them. And again, they'll run 100%, but not everyone will do it. So you got to know. And again, if they start running up and they don't hit that 100% and it doesn't hit your cell and you're not paying attention to it and it dips down, then you're still beat. So very, very tricky to trade. And again, a lot of things that we talk about on here, I bring experience and honesty to it and tell you what the real deal is. And that's that's the reality of trading this stuff. And yeah, people don't really tell you, yeah, you can make a lot of money on penny stocks, don't get me wrong. You have to be super disciplined, in the right mindset. They got to be moving the right way as well. And yeah, there's a lot of factors that come into it that play a role. And again, they just seem to be much easier and better couple years ago when I was doing it. I was just happened to be at the right time, I guess. And then it just like after COVID, it was just like a mess. Everything just got crazy and nothing was the same. And then we had that administration rolling in, and then it was the charts were whacked, and they just maybe they'll get back to being better. And again, I don't think I'll ever change my mind and go back after what I've been seeing. If the consistency keeps up what I'm doing with the options, there would be no way in hell I'd go back to trading penny stocks, because again, super stressful, have to be on it and paying attention way more. And this just seems way easier. And I was talking to my buddies that do some hedge funds, and they're like, "Oh, you're finally getting it, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, why didn't you guys tell me this 3 years ago?" Just joking around because they literally been telling me for 3 years that I needed to do options, and I would love it. And there you go. So it took me 3 years of people even telling me to do this. And that's why I keep stressing about it because again, you can get really sucked into penny stocks because it is fun, but it's just very, very, very complicated and tough to trade. And I'm just seeing it now. Not that I'm just seeing it. I'm seeing the other side of how much better it is, to be honest, on the option side and why these hedge funds and big people, the bigger institutions, that's all they do. They're not getting up at 4 a.m. and trading these things. They're not staying until 8 p.m. They're showing up at, 9:30 to 4. They're trading, they're making plenty of money doing it, and they're not even stressed about it. So I get it completely 100%. And here we go. Let's rock and roll through our big caps real quick so we can wrap it up. And yeah, totally Barber and everybody, I promise you, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I think I told you the other day, I tried to teach my buddy Timmy, and just to get an idea. And I did actually shoot one video, just don't like the way it came out, but I'm just trying to shoot a couple things and see how the wording is and run it by a couple people just to see if they understand it. And that way, when I put it out, we can go through it and make sure everybody's on the same page. So definitely within the next week or so, I'll have that all done for you. And again, I was just trying to really figure out that expiration date stuff. I had no idea how close you wanted to be to it. If you wanted to be on the expiration date, I really had no idea. And I basically had to just see for my own eyes and learn how to do it. And like I said, I'll be more than happy to pass along my knowledge. And that's why we do the show. And I'll definitely show you. And again, I expect everybody to start out very small and slow and just get the hang of it. But within 2 months, I think I figured it out. And I'm not going to say I'm no expert because I'm definitely not, but I feel pretty damn confident. And I'm telling you, if you guys seen the amount, like the profits, I posted a few of them. And, and yeah, if you've seen some of them, they were pretty wild. I was like, Jesus God, this is not, I'm telling you, they were better than some of the big penny stock hits that I was having. Obviously, wasn't putting as much money into it. I'm not trading as heavy. Again, I was more that $10 approach where I was doing it very small, but I was like, holy cow, if I had just done it a little more like I usually trade, some of them would have been $10,000 trades easily. Easily $10,000 profits. And like I said, that Apple one, you make that 10 calls, it might have been $2,000 to put up 10 calls on the and no, it wouldn't because that would have been the Apple option, which is 200. If you would did the ETF, which is at like $30, so way cheaper, and did 10 calls and it doubled, you would have probably made around 10 grand. I'm not even kidding. So that's the kind of numbers you're talking about in 10 days. You're talking like you would have been making $1,000 a day and it would have been a piece of cake. Like so easy. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at, guys. I'm not even kidding. That's where my mind's been the last month or so, just kind of looking at these things. And I've been saying it on here, and now you can kind of see what direction we're heading. And I'm telling you, we're going to do it. We're just going to crush everything. And like I've been telling you, by Christmas, by Thanksgiving, it was going to be good. Getting good, and by Christmas it'll be amazing, and we're getting right there. So just hang tight, and like I said, I'll teach you guys what I learned, and we'll have fun with it. I can tell you that. So let's do this and wrap it up. The SPY went up to 600 today, and it's looking pretty bullish. So everything was looking pretty good this morning when we got on, and it continued. GameStop actually went up 66 cents and is staying in the top. Looks good. Again, AMC just looks like something crazy's going on here. Pull back 6 cents, nothing crazy, and I have no idea what's going on. Apparently, their Thanksgiving holiday thing is supposed to be wild at the box offices or something, but I can't imagine it's set up like that for that. So something else is happening there, and when I say that, something's gonna happen. So something's gonna happen with AMC. I already know. I have my options on that. Chewy is coming down. It came out of the top. It's pulling back. It'll probably come back to the line and set back up, roll up. It looks like, but we'll keep an eye on it. Nvidia, we talked about this morning actually made its support line there because it wasn't there yesterday, so it built that in, and it's probably not coming underneath of this 135 right now. And I'm telling you, Nvidia is about to get crazy, so we may be looking at them options real soon too. And this one might be a great one to start out with, only being at $136. Again, you can buy these options, and they're all differently priced, but the way I've been looking at them about 3 weeks out, just knowing exactly, and again, finding that bottom price, being confident that, it's going up, and now I'm right around the bottom. If it pulls back, I'm safe. And, and yeah, getting my expiration pretty much right. And, yeah, it'll probably be like $100 and something option. You'll get 100 shares and start moving. You get it down here in that 136. Like I said, that 135 is your bottom. If that's what its low was today, 135.67. You get it right there, you're already in the money right now. And again, you can pick them, and they're like 50-cent intervals, some of like these guys. So you have 130, you're at that 136 right now, or 135, you get it at. You can pick your strike price at 136, and right now it closed at 136.92, and you'd be in the money. And as it started to run up towards that 140 and got to 144, thing would be on fire. Like, you just be like, damn, that thing. And at each day it goes up and it comes closer to the expiration, it goes up way more. I don't understand the percentages 100%. I know there's a formula, you can figure them out, and I'm not even really worrying about it, to be honest with you, because I just know they're going up, and I don't even care because they go up like tenfolds, and they're just going up way more than the stock would ever go up. And again, each day that you're confident that it's going up, you kind of wait that day because it gets closer to the expiration. If you feel like it's pulling back or whatever, just get rid of it. It has an expiration date. You're never going to hold it forever anyway, so who gives a damn? And sell it and take the profit. And guess what? There's 100 more of them setting up, looking just as beautiful, and you can just keep rolling them over. And literally on a small scale, be hitting $1,400 hits, and then on a large scale, be hitting $10,000 hits with no problem. So just let that sink in. And again, you're going to start small, and but that's what you're looking at here, and that's the biggest difference between your stocks and your options. And again, I just experimented for 2 months and just did it hands on myself, got my hands dirty, put my money into it, put my money where my mouth was, and it turned out great. I'm not gonna lie, and I love it, and we're gonna destroy it. So Nvidia, like I said, might be a great one because all these ones are starting to set up. But again, the video is a little cheaper, like in the 100 area, 136. Again, Meta is going to be a little more because it's higher up and it bases it off of that. So, and again, Apple was what I told you, they were like 200 an option. It was at two something. I think I got it. I told you guys when I got it right down here. I know I did. I can tell you the price. It was at like 225 area is exactly where I got it, right off that line. And yeah, it wasn't long ago. It was right on that line. It could have been here 224, 225. I think it was 225. And I think I had like a two it says it on there, whatever the strike price was, and 230 or something. Yeah, I was like right there. I knew where it was going, and boom, it just smashed it out of the park. And again, you hit the ETFs on something like that, and it's money. And this thing, Apple's probably going to go up higher, but again, didn't want to play the risk, didn't really care if it went up higher. It'd probably go up tenfolds too, and it's fine. Take the money, set it up in the next one, and even if it goes higher again, it's going to expire Friday anyway, not a big deal. And I still have the ETF that expires down the road that's still way up. So that's how you want to play them too. You can stagger them a little bit with the dates. Buy one, you're pretty confident that it's going to pop on this day, but I'll buy one because that one, if it does it, is going to pay a really nice premium for me. And then I'll buy two or three the week out. And just in case that first one doesn't hit, it's almost an insurance policy. I'll make sure I make up that loss if it happens and then still make a profit. So you can almost play it like that if you're confident with these charts, which we definitely are. And these are the things I've been looking at and trying to eliminate. risk and losses and keep them down to a very minimum. You're always going to have some. I look at it as overhead again, like the Apple earnings and the Yang, but they were experimental, and I was expecting to lose. I was actually expecting to lose a lot more than that, to be honest with you. So it worked out really well. And yeah, so we'll roll through the list. I'll get you guys on board. And again, I just kind of wrapped up a 2 month experiment, I'd say, because I was told you about it the entire time, what I was doing. So you know what I was doing. And I'm pretty confident and comfortable with it. I'm definitely no expert by no means, not even a financial guy, but I think I can show you what I'm doing, and I think everybody can benefit from it. That's for sure. And again, it's a lot less risk and stress, I believe. Um, Again, you pick the expirations right, and we do it as a show, and you can just nail it because the way we read the charts is just crazy. So I'll keep playing with them. I'll show everybody. We'll do it all. We'll even do one together as a show. That'll be fun. So we can even do one together and see how it rolls out. And it would be exactly the one that I'll be doing, and I'll walk everybody through it. We can even do that. So I'll make a video, show you what I'm talking about, and then I'll pick one that's even small. So it's nice and cheap. And again, it may only make like $50 or something. Nothing crazy. But again, you're going to see the percentages. And when you look at it, like, hey, if I bought this stock and tried to do this, there's no way I would have made that kind of money with what I had to put up and the risk and everything. And obviously, the bigger ones make more. But I did plenty well. I told you about space that day when it started. I didn't even know it expired, and it just started selling. I was playing with my kid, and I had 10 of them. I looked. And yeah, it was like ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, and I made pretty damn good money that day. And they were only like 60 or $70 an option. And yeah, you had 100 shares. And like I said, that was a pretty nice hit. So you don't have to get crazy. You can start small. And again, that was starting small. And I was real confident with that one. So I was like, I'll just buy 10 because they're not that much. And I bought five and five, I remember, and kind of staggered it. But I guess I bought them all on the same expiration because I thought five of them expired the week before and five after, but apparently not. And yeah, I started writing everything down because I was like, well, clearly with a brain injury, I don't remember nothing. So I started writing them down, and then it got even better when I was writing them down because then I could pay attention to them even more. So remember, I was talking about that the other day. That's when that all came about. I was like, definitely write down your trades. It makes a huge difference. I'm telling you, it makes you more successful when you write down your trades. You make that plan and you can see it, and it's right in front of you on a piece of paper rather than being in your mind and then your emotions jump into play and you're trying to remember what the hell your plan was. You can just look at it and go, I'm sticking to this plan, I'm executing it. No doubt about it, and I know I'm making my money. So that's how you want to kind of look at things. And again, you just want to trade them smart. That's all you got to do. So that was Apple. And again, popping up there, it probably is going to go higher tomorrow. And again, my option probably would have been worth even more, but not even worrying about it. And you have that mindset. And you'll keep winning. I'm telling you, you'll just keep winning, and your account will just keep going up big time. And you just get more confident with them and just keep nailing them. So that's where we're heading in that direction. I promise you. Google up $1.19. It's bouncing back up. And again, all of these bad boys are getting set up. Google doesn't look as good as Amazon or Nvidia, I mean. So, and even Apple looks real good, but now you're going to let that kind of jump back down because it's hitting the resistance. So you got to see where that's at. And that's exactly how we're playing them. I played it to hit that resistance exactly right there, being in the money, knowing it was going to do it, and it hit it before Friday. So it was pretty much exactly what you want to do, and and that's how we're going to be doing them. Amazon's definitely setting up, and I was saying that this morning. But yeah, this thing's getting cruising. It was up $6 and it's going to be up to that 215. So you can even look at this tomorrow and know it's going to be cruising up there and get moving. So Amazon's going to be moving there. Meta's going to be moving. Like I said, it was up 843. I don't know what the hell Zuckerberger's up to. This dude is up to something right now because this thing's going to get wild. So Meta would be a great one. It's just going to be a little more pricey, I can tell you that. Because it's at 573. So you're going to be looking at a more expensive option on that one. So it's not one that you might not want to start with because again, it's going to cost you like almost 500. It'll cost you $500, but you're going to get 100 shares of it. But again, you want to start smaller just so you understand how it works. And I definitely didn't start off with Meta, I promise you. So MSFT, Microsoft, another one that's up there. It went up $9. We were talking about being bullish and trading between this channel. Could pull back again and stay in the channel, and then it's going to just take off. It's going to be a rocket. So Microsoft looking real good, and again, it's in the 400s, a little more pricey for a starter one. So just be careful. Tesla 300. But I'll tell you what you look at, and this is where we're at. You look at the ETFs, and they're in like the $30 range. So, for example, what was a AAPU was or AAPL was it? No, AAPU. That's the bull two times. That's at $37. When I bought this one, I believe it was right here around like 34 or 35, and it's at 38 in the after hours, and it basically mimics Apple. And but you can get them much cheaper. And again, it's two times. So when these things run up, they're doubled. And it's basically going to run the same as Apple. I definitely did simultaneously the same ones. And then I just did it. Like I said, this expiration's out in December. I just was curious as to what the difference was. And as you get closer, obviously, like I said, if I had this one, the AAPU with them three options, and it expired Friday, that thing would have been worth like almost 3 grand because it would have been doubled the Apple one. So that just gives you an idea of why you want to play the ETFs and them things too. And again, I was looking into all that and I definitely tried it out and saw the difference. And like I was telling you, that was basically like my last little experiment there. And it wrapped up my 2 months of playing with options and learning, teaching myself how to do it. So that was that. But yeah, Tesla's just kind of pulling back to the line, but you know it likes to roll right off and get wild. We'll look at it in the morning. Nike NKE, this one's pulling back, but it just ran up to almost like $80 the other day, and we knew it was popping off at that 73, so that was nice. And it's probably just pulling back to set up, it looks like. Rivian was running up. Um, we knew that was going up and that ran up over $12 today. So that would have been a beautiful one right there. And it's even setting up to get more bullish. It pulled back a little in the after hours, but nothing real crazy or even in the regular hours, but nothing crazy. PLTR, I don't know how this is doing it, but it looks like it wants to roll off and go higher. Be careful with it though, because it is crazy. And good old Sophie, another one, just it's coming. This one's actually coming down. It looked better this more earlier. It pulled back 21 cents, but that doesn't mean anything. These things have been crazy. SOFI and PLTR. Dell was down today like $2. It ran up yesterday. And again, just one that's pulling back as it's running up. We'll keep an eye and see if it actually wants to pull back. And how about snow? That thing was a blizzard going up there, and it's way in the top clearly. This was a great one too. I hit this one. This was an amazing one. I told you guys about this. So yeah, I'm basically, like I said, catching them at the perfect timing and getting them to run up and know where the expiration is. If you can do that and be within a week or so, even if you're not 3 days, if you're within a week of it, I mean, the thing is just paying really, really good. And obviously, the closer you get, and like I said, 3 days out, you want to be right around there, 2, 3 days out. But the closer you get right there, the higher they are, but they're still worth way more than a stock would be worth. Yeah, snow, this was a beautiful hit. Just watch for this to come out of the bottom or out of the top and try to set up again. AMD was just running up the other day. It did pull back today, but I'm telling you, it's just some healthy pullback. it hit that resistance and it's going to get moving. So you're probably going to have a good opportunity there to look at that again, AMD. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow, but it's not looking bad. Um QCOM, let's see, down $1.89, and this one's just going to be setting up. This one's going to be a little while to set up, maybe like a month or so, but it'll bounce around that channel while it's doing it. So it'll be opportunities there. PayPal was running up, and this one has a nice support line right here at 85. It's in the 86, and this one's probably going to get rolling back, and it's really bullish in about a couple weeks there. PayPal. Um, What's next? SMCI. Here you go. Down 398 today. And another one I hit like perfectly. And honestly, sold that option pretty much at the right timing too. So just kind of now, and I'm just looking at these things. And again, these are running um pretty much in your support lines like you're where you want them to. You can almost see it. So these ones are pretty easy. Like I said, these big caps and even SMCI wasn't even that much. That was only $30 because of the reverse split. So that was a really good one. So super micro. And again, we caught that at $18. So that was relatively cheap and had a few of them options. They paid out really well. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just been crazy. And if we can catch all these guys as their perfect setups like this, and we see them all the time, I'm telling you, you guys will just love options. You'll fall in love with it. You can easily go to work. Buy one of these, do your regular job, and then sell it at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on whatever day you want to sell it, like I did today. And I was taking care of my wife who has COVID, and I was like, "Oh, hold on, I gotta go sell that Apple one real quick." I was letting it go. It looked like it wanted to bounce up some more. And I said, let me go sell that bad boy. And she asked me, so what's it even up? So I took the screenshot and showed. She said, well, what? And I was like, and I was explaining them to her. And I was like, and she's like, aren't you worried it's going down? I was like, no, actually, it's going up right now. I said, so I'm going to sell it. It's going to keep going up, but I'm perfectly cool with taking the 1,400 plus dollars in less than 10 days and moving it on to the next one. And she goes, that's crazy. And she's like, how much did you have to put up? And I said, about $600, and that's not that much. And she was pretty impressed. She was like, wow, that's pretty wild because she knows what I used to do with penny stocks. And I'd put like 5 grand into some of them. And again, you hit them for 100% and you're making some good money, but you're ponying up a lot of money. You're putting 5 grand into a stock. It's a lot of money, guys. So, when you're putting 600 in, it feels like pocket change. And again, that's still a lot of money. And like I say, it's relative to everybody. And that's why I tell everybody to start small. And I generally never talked about money ever with anything like this. But now that we're kind of learning how to do it, I'm just trying to give you a perspective and be honest with you and tell you. And again, I started very small with it, and I'll up the game as I get confident and comfortable with it, of course, and make them bigger hits. I did it with penny stocks before. We'll do it with this, and you guys will all do it as well. But you got to start small and just get the confidence in doing it. And that's what I basically have. I'm confident that I can see what's going to happen. I'm confident that our expirations are going to be on the right point, and and then yeah, you're going to be in the money almost every time, like I said. So I'll show you guys what we're doing, and yeah, you guys I think are going to love it. And again, snow is another good one. Intel, I didn't do this one. I was gonna play this. Actually, my buddy Josh hit this one, and we played Intel. I remember on like Halloween, we jumped in this. It was down there, and it ran up a little bit. And Intel is just kind of pulling back, but another one just setting up beautifully right there. Disney, that was another great one. I mean, we called that perfectly from like 95 to 115, and knew it was going over 100. So that was a beauty right there. And any of these are just great. I mean, it's just they're money in the bank. I'm telling you. Remember we said Oxy was coming back down to that line, let it pull back. Well, there you go. And let's just watch it, see if it pulls back a little bit more. And that one, I'm probably definitely getting an option on that because it's going to shoot through the roof. You're going to see it go right past the $50 mark and just keep blasting through. It's setting up beautifully. So Oxy's going to look really good. We're going to watch that for the next couple days, probably into next week as it sets up. ExxonMobil's pulling back. That'll set up really good. And that's the other thing is just practicing that like great patience on them and not worrying about missing anything. Just knowing that you're what you want to see, what you're looking at, what you want to get it at, and around about and confident it's going to the prices that you know and not chasing anything around. And again, you start doing that with the penny stocks because they start moving so fast and they get so much hype. We don't have to worry about any of that with this. So it's a piece of cake. So Mara down $1.45. And again, with Bitcoin and stuff pulling back, these things are kind of dictated with that. So Mara and Riot are going to be pulling back a little bit, and Riot is. But again, we'll do the same thing, and I want to. I want to buy my options for these. I want a Riot option down here around $10 and buy it like a year out. These ones I'm going to buy like a year out, knowing that crypto is going to have that crazy run. These things were up to like $100 at the end of last run. So these ones we'll buy a little further out. And again, we'll walk all through all these because they're all setting up. I'm telling you, it's going to get wild. Starting in pretty much in a week or so, they're really going to start setting up, and probably right after the like Christmas, New Year's, it's going to get great. You can just see it all happening as Trump's getting inaugurated and getting in the office. It's going to be a beauty. So that's what we're getting into and looking forward to. And I look at couple months out into the future. So I'm just kind of prepping you guys for what we're going to get ready for and start nailing them. And then again, the market will have a downturn. You already know it will because it's going to get pumped up and they're going to clean house and do all this stuff. And I'm expecting it. And I'm expecting to do even better on them because when they come down harder than when they go up. Let's put it that way. So you can pick that number right there, right underneath of where it's at, the strike price, and watch it fall down like $40. It's nuts. And so yeah, when they come down, they like to really come down. Like look at MicroStrategy, for example. It came down $49. It did run up a lot too, don't get me wrong, but they will come down really fast. And so you can really capitalize big time on that. And yeah, MicroStrategy's coming down. The CLSK, that was coming down today. And the COIN was coming down. And remember, I was saying, let's not chase any of these guys at the top. They're all up there. Just wait for them. DJT, that was just sitting around today. I'm telling you, this one might definitely. I already got options on this as well. The bottom is probably right around that 26.56. You're in the 30s. It could come back to like 27. So, like I said, the bottom's in 26 area, 26, 27 right there. And keep your eye on DJT because you know it's going to get flying. You can already tell it's going to run back up to 55. It's at $30. That'll be a sweet one right there. So, and again, that's a nice and cheap one right there. It's only $30. So we'll look, I'll break them all down. I'll really, as the holiday week, I'll probably we'll do the show tomorrow morning, and then obviously we're not going to do one Wednesday night tomorrow night because Thanksgiving's Thursday, and I'm probably just going to skip the Friday pre-market show and uh and kind of just get up and focus on getting a lot of stuff done. So maybe we'll just skip that one and then yeah, we'll be right back on Sunday night for our normal and then just start really crushing things because I want to make this video, get you guys up to speed. And like I said, because these things are going to be great and you guys are going to love it. And like something, for example, like DJT is going to be a great one right there. And like I said, I already got a bunch of them. So that'll be nice, I believe. Fun, PHUN. This is going to get fun too. You can see it's starting to curl up. Just taking its time right here, getting ready. And it still has, I think, to the end of this week, probably into next week. And then that one's going to start moving. MTN, that mountain was down, but I mean, this was another beauty. My buddy Josh hit this one actually. We saw this one down in the 170s, and then it just ran up to what, 191 yesterday. So that was another beauty in a few days right there. MTN, that Val Resorts. And I was talking about that one, and McDonald's, that was moving. We saw that at the bottom as well, and it ran up yesterday. It's still up a little, 296, and it looks like it's going to jump up even higher and get up into the 300 range plus. So that one looks like it wants to move back up. McDonald's and Boeing, BA, that's down 234, hitting resistance, and it should come down, but again, it does look kind of bearish actually. So maybe Boeing will pull back as it should. And SPCE, that did pull back. It ran up yesterday real good and it pulled back today, but not looking terrible. So we'll take a look at SPCE and see what that wants to do. It'll probably want to still bounce up, I'm betting. And then DXYZ, I threw that on here. And again, that was down a little bit today. That was down like 41.79, ran up to 47, and then got down to 39.51, and it's sitting in like the 43s or the 41s. Let me see. DXYZ. It's at 41.90. This thing's jumping around a lot, but again, be very careful. I think you're going to see it down here in the 31 area. So look for it there. Let me take a look at the messages and make sure I got everything real quick. And Bruce Love said his daily goal is to generate $100 in revenue, which would enable him to allocate 80 towards family support. There you go. I'm telling you, that's all it's about, honestly, is and in charitable contributions. And so, yep, I'm telling you, that's what it is all about. You make it so that you have a little financial freedom. And obviously, in this day and age, everybody knows we all work jobs and have jobs or had jobs or situations, and you almost got to work like three jobs today to make it because everything costs so goddamn much. No one wants to pay normal wages anymore. They all want to give you like a part-time job. Obviously, a lot of us have careers, and you get a salary, but at the end of the day, I mean, just the cost of living's astronomical. Like I say, I've done very well. I haven't even worked in over 4 years. Literally, I say I kind of retired at the age of 40. I'm 44, and you never really retire, honestly. But yeah, it's the cost of living's astronomical. I say I don't care how much money you ever had or made, you couldn't keep up with this right now if you wanted to. So um, it's definitely a beautiful thing to have that extra income come in, and especially when you don't have to kill yourself to do it. And then when you start to see it actually make like a difference, and you start making it kind of like a life-changing thing, it becomes amazing. And then you're just like, you know what? Now I have options in life where I get to choose what I want to do and not be dictated and have to be under, I have to be at work at 8 a.m. No, I don't have to be at work. I can be doing something charitable or helping somebody or doing whatever I want and still, make sure everything's paid and not worry. So that's what it's all about, honestly. It's always been financial freedom. I've always had that mindset and always done it. Multiple streams of income has always been my thing ever since I was in my teens, probably 18, 19 years old, 20. Told you I was building businesses in my 20s and selling them. And yeah, it was always my mindset from reading books and Robert Kiyosaki and them kind of books was multiple streams of income. And because you never know which business could ever do bad. So I always wanted to have, I've honestly always had at least three streams of income. And I say that's how you make money. You're not going to make it from one because that's going to pay your bills. And two is going to make you live comfortably. But three is where you can really invest and and then make things change. So you got to look at things in that way and set life up as a business. And of course, that's why I do this. Honestly, like I said, I kind of just sat back and posted things, messing around, and just had fun with it. More or less, honestly, just kept my head in it and just because I was looking at things anyway and it was fun. And then I'm telling you, I changed everything changed when I suffered a brain injury. I survived a miracle. I tell you guys all the time. I got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a two-story house. I should not be sitting here talking to you. My head should have exploded on impact. And at the very least, if I lived, I should be like a mashed potato. And somehow I was in a hospital looking at stock charts that night, and I firmly believe just looking at them and keeping my brain active kept me alive. And then yeah, I ended up in a concussion therapist for over 9 months, and she definitely kept me alive. There was no doubt about it. I was out of my mind. And once I started to and like I said, I built a golf course in my backyard. I was completely out of my mind when I started all that stuff, and started doing it and started doing the show basically simultaneously. And whatever it was, it started like really helping me because I wasn't doing so great. And that's why I say I'll just do the show because it really helped my brain and I enjoy talking to everybody. It's a lot of fun. And I just look at it like, hey, I guess I'm blessed with a skill and there's no reason not to pass it along. I'm not the type of person that are just trying to charge people like hundreds of dollars for stuff. So it's never been me. So yeah, I was just like, hey, let's just start doing a show on here and see what happens. And like honestly, Laptop Travel has been listening to it since day one, and Low Country Profits and a couple other people, obviously, and Peninsula Life. And I told you is why I even really started looking at all the different stock tickers was because of Laptop Travel and Peninsula Life because they were just sending in the same ones that I looked at, and other people were sending in different ones. And I was like, wow, people look at different stuff. And Laptop Travel, they were like on point with like the MACD, everything I was looking at. So I was talking to them, and then other people started sending them in, and I'm looking at them going, yeah, that's a pretty nice setup, but not the patterns I look at. And then I was like, well, I can look at any of them. This is fun. And I was having fun with it, clearly. And again, it was just making my brain better. And I think as I've done the show for a few months now, it's definitely helped me. And yeah, here we are. So, and I got into the options. It's something that I've wanted to do for years, and I guess I was just intimidated, never did it, just like crypto. And that's why I've always say, if you want to get into crypto and you don't know where to start, just shoot me a message. You know, I answer everybody, and if I never answer you, definitely just shoot me another message because I either missed it or I clicked on it and forgot to get back to you, and it happens with me. So don't think that you're bothering me. Just be like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh shit, I never responded to that. I respond to everybody and I enjoy it. I have great conversations with people all the time. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love the show. We have a great community. And that's why I do it every night. I enjoy doing it. I get up every morning to do it because I enjoy it. And like I said, we're just going to crush it as a whole community and a show. And I'll show you what I'm looking at and doing. Like I said, I was just experimenting. I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm not even a financial guy. Just learned how to learn stock charts and put it together here. And then I just taught myself how to do options. Not even sure if it's right, but the method I'm doing works. And I'll be more than happy to pass the information along and we can crush it as a show and have a lot of fun. So that's where we're at. And again, I just kind of I'm very honest with everybody, and that's where it all started from and how it all happened. But yeah, I got whacked in the head pretty good, and I and it definitely changed my mindset and everything. And I told you, I understand. Obviously, Trump didn't get hit in the head. He survived a miracle, though. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't change you, there's something wrong with the person, and you can tell he's changed. Definitely a changed person, and I'm definitely a changed person too. And yeah, you just see things differently. And I was always a laid back, helpful person, but it definitely just changes you. And it opened me up to saying, you know what, if I have this skill, what am I going to do? Take it with me? I almost just lost it. Nobody almost got it. So my buddy Timmy jokes about it all the time. He goes, man, you almost took that with you like a year ago and nobody would ever known what to do. So I'm like, you know what? Just let's do it and have fun with it. So that's where we're at. And I appreciate everybody hanging out. Really, I really do. I appreciate all the messages, the feedback, and everything. So keep it going. Laptop Travel always giving, I mean, he takes a ton of time to make lists up and all kinds of stuff. So greatly appreciate him and Asian Joe Lee for her lists in the morning. Luis Rodriguez always sending in great stock tickers. Low Country Profits. Elena Jennifer Lee's always sending in great ones. Tommy, uh, Doge Mama. So many people hanging out now. Serial Winner and Bong Prichan Sherry and Roger, DTN, the Pink Wolf. I said it right. Deleted always cracks me up there. Sultra Trader or something, and Barbara and Narissa, and there were so many other people on. Like I said, I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out. You know, if you DM me, I definitely respond. And Yeah, I'll get the options all together. I'm very comfortable, not very comfortable. I'm confident enough that I had a good 2 months with it and I understand it now because I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie. And just had to jump into it and get my hands dirty with it. And that's how I like to learn. I just do it. And again, it was one of them things from the brain injury that just I kind of just say to myself, what's ever holding me back? I basically on borrowed time at this point I always laugh about. And so I'm like, what am I going to be afraid to start something? Well, it was a couple dollars to jump in and start doing it. So I jumped in and started doing it, and I love it. And I'll teach you guys what I learned, and we'll all have fun as a show. So there you go. A great Tuesday night. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let me look and make sure I got everything because I didn't even look at the list. And the lead had said he wants to learn the options. I'm telling you, dude, these penny stocks are crazy. Um, yeah, Space has authorized a $300 million offering. So that could dip down. We'll keep an eye on that in the morning. And GN, I knew there was one deleted said GNS. I knew there was one. There are a couple more here. Let me roll through them real quick. Um, no problem. GNS, that's Genius Group or Genius something. I know that. Let me take a look. Hold on, real quick. GNS, here we go. Genius Group, that's it. That one's actually pulling back. It had just run up the 20 and 50. It doesn't look too bad. I actually was looking at this not long ago, and man, it's sitting right there. It's an interesting one. I'll tell you that. GNS. I'll look at this in the morning. Let me jot it down. I was just looking at it the other day, as a matter of fact. So I know it pretty well. I've traded a million times before. But yeah, it did look like it was kind of setting what I what caught my eye was the 20 and 50 were meeting up and they're basically touching today with it sitting there. So it's an interesting look because like I said, it could easily bounce off of there. My chart showing that it just pulled like it went under, it crossed over going down, but it has that look where it could easily pull itself up, like I say, and pop up. So it's right there. It's interesting. I'll definitely look at that tomorrow. Deleted. And SBFM, we haven't looked at that in a while. SBFM, that's like a sunshine something. Yeah, Sunshine Biopharma. See, I can remember these stock tickers and names. I can't remember anything else with my brain injury. It's quite amazing. I'm telling, that's why I'm saying this show has helped me like so much. It's not even funny. And uh and I'm glad that you guys get something out of it as well because it definitely helps me and things that work are always like helps both parties out. I explain that in business all the time and it seems like a great partnership, so it works. But SBFM at Sunshine Biopharma, it's at 238, ran up to 310, and it looks pretty solid to continue up. Let me see it on mine. We haven't looked, like I said, we haven't looked at this in a little while. We had watched it pop up a few times. This one looks like it'll be solid momentum play in the morning. Um, right there. I'm not sure. Is it seven? I'm not sure what your name is, but that one looks solid. And SISI, we haven't looked at that one either. Isn't that like Shine Co or something? Yeah, look at that. Look how good I'm getting at these. Shine Co. This one recently split, ran up a little bit, and is just pulling back to that bottom right there. This was on Laptop Travels list for a little while, and it did pop up there. I remember it's just kind of pulling back. It doesn't look like it's doing. I mean, it has that dip. It may have a dip and rip because it's touching that bottom, but it's not showing me that it wants to do anything crazy right there. So I could look at both of them in the morning, SBFM and SISI. So there you go. And oh, FBL, yeah, there you go. I was honestly trying to think of um the Meta's ETF, and I couldn't think of it because it is Facebook. It doesn't go off of Meta. It's FBL. That's why. I was sitting there thinking like, what is that thing? MET what? And it just wasn't coming to me. And that's why. Thank you, laptop. Try reading my mind. But yeah, so if you wanted to play Meta because it looks so good, and and again, we like it, and that thing's way up there. What was it? I forget, like $500, 573. You go right back to the ETF, which is going to make you two times more. And FBL is the Granite Shares 2 time long Meta Dow ETF, and that's at 3207. And I'm telling you, it's going to get over $34 and it's going to blast off to like 37. So you can already see it right now. If you buy it, say you bought it, it's at 32 and you bought your strike price at like 32.50. If it gives, sometimes they give you 50-cent intervals or dollar intervals. It depends on them. But most of them are like 50-cent intervals for the bigger ones. This one easily could be. And yeah, you could literally put it at like 32.50 or obviously 33 and know that you're going to crush through that within a week or two with no problem at all. And yeah, you're in the money. And once it crosses through that 34 and it bounces up, you basically are selling it and making really good money right there on FBL. Because again, that's two times what it's going to pay out. So it doubles, literally doubles. I was impressed when I seen that. I'm like, I never really understood that before. And I've traded some ETFs as stocks and never really understood why it was like the two times. And it did get like a little bit more, but these options are like crazy. Now I get it. Like I was saying earlier, I get a lot of different things that I didn't quite fully understand in the market. They just kind of like I knew that the way that they ran and this and that, but now I totally get it looking at these options. They make a huge difference. So yeah, it's pretty wild stuff right there. What's that? ANIK. Let's see what that is. ANIK. Anika Therapeutics. Oh, that thing looks great. That thing has options. Yeah, it's $17. That one looking good right there. AIANIK. That looks really, that one's gonna run tomorrow morning, guys. So there you go with that. You in that laptop travel? Because that looks really good right there. And no problem. Delete it, no problem. And there you go. So yeah, a lot of option talk for you guys. But again, I basically just kind of wrapped up a 2 month experiment and I was telling you guys all about it pretty much the entire time and even posted a few of the hits and not all of them, but just a couple just to, tell you as I was actually doing it with my real money and putting my money where my mouth was. And, I was talking about it. I was really doing it. And so, yeah, I have a pretty good idea and I'll put it all together. Like I said, we'll do a tomorrow show. I'll do the pre-market show tomorrow morning. I'll skip the one Friday morning and on Black Friday, and everybody will have a great Thanksgiving. I'll be posting and everything. I'll be around, but yeah, I have some things I wanted to get focused on and a couple projects to knock out. And like I said, I think you guys are going to be excited about things, and we're just going to crush it as a show going forward. I just know it. I'm excited about it, to be honest. I was telling my wife, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have so much fun. There's people on this show that I've never met, maybe never will meet in person, but we have a lot of great conversations on DM and people that are gonna be making some good money and having a lot of good fun. So that's what it's all about. And yeah, so get ready, guys. And like I say, if you don't have a Coinbase account, make sure you sign up for that too, because crypto ain't going nowhere except for up. So between crypto and these options, it's going to be the most wildest 2025 you've probably wildest year you've ever seen. And I've had some pretty crazy money years, especially in some penny stock years. And I definitely have a good feeling that I'm going to do about 10 times better than any year I've ever seen. So get ready, guys, because I'll bring everybody on board and we can all just ride the train together and have a good time. And like I say, you don't want to ever compare yourself to anybody. That's why I never talk about money. So, if you do what you're comfortable with and that's what you do and you don't think that you have to try to compete with somebody because they're buying five options and you only have the money for one. Don't ever think like that. You think in your mind and you compete with yourself and that's it, and nobody ever looks at anybody differently. I promise you that. I look, like I say, I walk around, I'll look at the janitor and the CEO and I'll treat everybody exact same. Nobody's different in my eyes unless they disrespect me. And so yeah, never. And I wanted to make that clear too, because everybody has a different status level, no matter where you're at in life. And but at the end of the day, you're all equal, and you just do what you play the amount that you can play that you're comfortable with, and you never jeopardize anything crazier. And again, you always start, like I say, like basically at that $10. And I was doing the exact same thing and just started upping them in these last 2 weeks just to see what the numbers were like as I bought more options. So, and yeah, it was pretty wild. So again, I started very small, and again, I'll make it very clear, and I'm not a financial guy at all. You guys all know that. I just look at stock charts and I just tell you my experience, but I'll let you know exactly what I do. And yeah, we'll have fun as a show together. And like I said, we'll even buy one together as a show and crush it, and then everybody will be on the same page. So there you go. And I just wanted to explain to you what I've done for the last 2 months because I was really just experimenting with options, honestly. Just kind of threw myself into it and said, let's learn it. And yeah, it just wrapped up today, I'd say. And I still have some more. Like I said, I have the AAPU one expires December 20th. I have a couple other ones. I told you which ones I already have. I can't even think off the top of my head. My brain's dead. But yeah, I have plenty of them. Not plenty, but I have a few of them that I like. And oh, DJT. I was trying to think of it. DJT I have, still have the Apple one. And and I probably have a couple more that I can't even think of. But yeah, I don't get crazy at all. It's just the ones I'm really confident in, and that's it. So, and they're still part of the experiment, but I would say I'm moving on from that and we're gonna get rocking and rolling. So there you go, guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Another 3 hour show where we talk about options. We'll get them cut down too after in December. We'll start doing like just real not real quick, but we'll do like hour and a half. Make sure it doesn't get over 2 hours, and we'll get through just the importance, all the bangers, like what's going to be popping, our laptop travel list because they're always set up and looking great, and 100%ers always coming off of there, and we'll make sure we cover all our big caps, whatever anybody wants to look. But we don't really need to go through like an exact list all the time, like we've been doing, where I make a list. I think we have enough people now sending them in that we have a pretty solid list every single night. I can just go through them and then we'll rock and roll through the things that want to pop in the scanners and stuff. So I think we'll change it up and just make it again. We're going to focus on what's the most profitable things and just nail it as a show and have a good time. So there you go, everybody. Have a great night. And again, thank you very much for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. And I'm probably not going to be trading much tomorrow. I'm just going to be chilling and watching things, more or less watching crypto to see if it wants to bounce back, is what I'm interested in. And and then yeah, getting really ready for next week because I'm gonna really get crazy with it. Not crazy, but in a bad way. Just get a little more pushing the agenda a little heavier with the options because I'm confident with it. And I think it's time to do it. So there you go, guys. Have a great night. I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. And any questions, let me know. And anything you want me to look at in the morning, you shoot it over to me and I'll check it out. So there you go, guys. Have a great night. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.